So first,
absolutely.
And I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast. We have video for Patreon. And if you're lucky enough to have that, guess what? I have this piece of hair that won't sit behind my ear and it drives me fucking nuts. I can't look away from it. I'm not even looking at you on this video. I'm looking at this little piece of hair that, because I got a haircut. Now everyone's going to hear, I got a haircut once a year and I chop it all off.
Yeah.
And then it won't sit in my ponytail.
But you want to always trim it a little short because that it's going to grow into the frame that you want it.
Okay, yeah, but can it grow already?
No, I know. I also am a person who cuts my hair only once a year. We're so similar.
Only once a year.
That, I'm not
I can't afford.
It's girly. I can't keep it on my schedule. I could never manage that schedule.
I'm high maintenance about a lot of things. My haircut's not one of them. Also, you think I can afford more than one haircut a year? The lady's always like, you should be coming back every 3 months. 3 months?
Babe, I can't.
Girly, a haircut? Do you know how much that costs? $150.
I go to the person I've seen since childhood in St. Louis.
Oh. I can't do that because I have curly hair and the person I saw cut straight people hair. And that's why I always had a bonkers ass cut. Curly hair, $150 for a haircut. You think I'm coming every quarter? Try again.
Whoa. Is that just because it's New York prices?
No, curly hair. Well, I'm sure New York is a little more expensive, but curly hair cuts are more expensive than regular cuts.
Because they're more intensive, right? There's more manage.
I don't know. It took this girl 15 minutes. Chopped it all off.
That seems
called
easy.
It a day. I mean, it looks fine.
I don't know. I don't know the industry, so I don't know what you need to know and don't, or why things cost so much. But I can tell you, I will never be dyeing my hair because I cannot afford that either.
I've dyed my hair twice, not dyed, but I got a little red one time.
Mm-hmm.
It was out of my hair in 10 seconds. My brown hair ate that shit up so hard. I swear I showered twice, and I was like, what the hell happened to my red hair?
How much did you spend?
I don't know. It was a long time ago. And then I got,
oh my God,
not highlights, but low lights. I got a little bit of lighter-ish in my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it grew out, I looked crazy. But people, whenever I get my hair done, I do say I love, because they're always like, your hair is so thick and luscious and curly. And I'm like, thank you so much. And then they go, your brown is the type of brown people pay for. And I go, I don't know what that means, but I'm good. In. So I do like going because it strokes my ego, but I hate it because of this one little piece that won't go.
That one little piece.
Anyway, hi everyone. If you want more of this, check us out on Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, YouTube. All the links in our description. And if you still can't get more, let me know. I'll give you my personal cell number. No, I won't.
Come over to Patreon. There's more, baby.
There's a lot happening there. And there will be more because soon Summer House is going to begin. And then those are always crazy on Patreon because I will be asking for your opinions. If you're a $5 patron, which we all know that goes far. And yeah, I'm probably going to forget. So people will have to remind me. So I'll get yelled at on the Patreon.
We're going to start some automated posts this year.
No, never. I think people like the lore.
We're in 2025.
I think people like the lore. Anyway, Meredith, things deserve to be celebrated, even if they're small. So let's do our small celebrations.
Mine this week it's restaurant week in Chicago. Ooh. And I went to a restaurant with my gals. And it was a Tuesday night, one of those random, let's hang out, perfect night.
Where'd you go?
I went to Daisy's over in, I think that's technically Logan Square.
What kind of restaurant?
It was they're known for their pasta, and the head chef, the owner, his brother has a farm in Illinois, and so they try to get a lot of their produce from there. So it was we did the 4-course menu.
What'd you get?
One of the courses had 3 different pastas. So we got 2 of them twice, but had literally everything on the menu except for the desserts because I'm a tiramisu girly and I want one all to myself. But we all ordered everything and just shared it.
What kind of pasta did you get? Because it's about the pasta.
It is. There was a pappardelle, and then I don't remember the kinds of the others, but they were homemade noodles. They were so good. One was
what's the shape?
Large bow tie thing that was stuffed. Delicious. I think it's
interesting.
Farfel, F-A-R
Farfalle. Yeah,
like
farfalle.
That.
Yeah.
And
don't come for me. I am Italian, but I don't fucking eat bow tie pasta. Come at me.
No, they were way larger. I'm not a bow tie pasta girl.
I don't do that shape. I mean, like I would do it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what I'm going to buy, it's not that.
And then I forget what the last one was, but it was like a thinner, like long noodle.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
I love that. Delicious. And we love a girl.
It was everything I needed because coming off of the holidays, I felt a little disconnected from my friends just because you stop getting in that like habit where you like hang out and then you talk about the next thing and then like the next thing happened and some people have been traveling. And so it kind of like grounded me back in those specific friendships. And then we were like talking about things we wanted to do. And I was like, all right, we're back, baby. We're back.
We're making plans. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh my God, thank you for asking. This is just because I have nothing else to celebrate, really. I got myself an Oura ring. Let me tell you why. I have been trying to get off my birth control for a year. Yeah. Not because I'm against it and not because I'm out here having to track my cycle or anything, but I was seriously depressed last year when I tried and everyone was like, please go back on it or you might do something you regret. But because I wouldn't live to regret it. Anyway, that's beyond. It was year end. I tell you guys, it was a very depressing time. But I'm trying to get off of it now. Mm-hmm. I do have really bad periods, so I do want to track my cycle just to be sure. Stay on top of it. But then also, I had this HSA from my previous job, and if you don't use it, they just charge you to keep it open, which, no thank you. And so, yeah, they charged me $3 a month. That's bullshit. So, because usually when you have an HSA, your employer covers that, and then when you no longer are there, they start taking out of your account. And so I got myself an Oura ring because it's covered by HSA.
Okay, this is a PSA for people is like look up what you can buy because there's so many things like pimple patches are covered.
Zyrtec, if you want to get
so
allergy
many
meds.
Things.
Yeah. So I got myself an Oura ring. It's fine. I haven't been wearing. So my thing is I like to look at my steps and my workouts. Yeah. And I was wearing my Apple Watch for about 2.5 years, maybe 3, without taking it off. And the tan line I got was horrendous.
I can't believe you didn't move it up and down on your wrist.
No, my friends knew about the tan line, and my best friend was like, if you have this tan line for my wedding, I'm gonna kill you. So I took it off before the summer, probably around May. And I didn't wear it all summer so I could try and even out the tan line, which I did. But you could still see you could tell where my Apple Watch sat still. It hits. Anyway, and then I never put it back on. Also would like to say, though I love my Apple Watch, I would wear that thing all day. And if I was ever in a picture, the Apple Watch would be in it. Like, even if it was just like I went on a walk and me and my friend took. And I always thought it was just so ugly. It like haunted me. And so I got this Oura ring because I think it's less noticeable, but still kind of ugly.
It's
because I have chunky little fingers, and this is a thick ass band.
That's what I don't know how I feel about it. Did you go with a size to put it on your pointer?
Yeah, my friend gave me a sizing chart or a sizing
like the ring thing
that they give, and I didn't mind them because I like rings, but I usually wear like thin little rings. This one's 2 rings. I just put it there sometimes, so I usually do like thin little rings.
Yeah,
and so this thick ass ring, I had to get a big one because I got fat fingers, so it's just like this big ass. I got sausages, so this is a big ass ring.
I don't wear jewelry, and so I guess I did
this would kind of bug you. It's a big ring.
I just like I have one ring that I literally never take off unless I'm in a large body of water. So I think it would drive me nuts because wearing my Apple Watch, I hate it.
Okay.
And I finally gave mine up a year and a half ago because it started to make me feel bad about myself, like trying to constantly hit that stuff.
Luckily, the Oura ring doesn't tell me you should stand right now kind of thing, or like you didn't hit your goals.
That I turned off.
That was a nightmare for me. But what it does have is it like every day when I wake up, it gives me a readiness score based off like my temperature and how well I slept, which is kind of nice. And then though I have it so I can see my steps every day, so I like built my own. You can build your own yeah, so mine I wanted to put my steps because that's what I'm like most interested in when I'm doing, but like you could also put your calories on there if you wanted, like how much you burned. You could, because it bases it off the heart rate. you could put like, you could log meals and stuff, which I don't really do because I forget. How am I supposed to log a meal before I eat it, you know?
I've never been able to track that type of
Well,
stuff.
they want you to take a picture of it, and then I'm like, it's already gone. Because they use AI, so then they can guess like your meal.
What the hell?
But they don't have calories of the meal, so it doesn't, which is nice because we're not counting calories and we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Unless like your doctor told you you should.
If you're doing like macros and all that stuff, like
yeah,
I understand.
Don't do it just for funsies like we all did in high school and then we hated food. Don't do that. But it's like kind of fine. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I've only had it since Saturday. It's supposed to track my stress once I wear it after a while, because right now it tells me I have no stress, which is
I don't need that baby then. No thank you.
But I do like waking up and being like, how well did I sleep? And looking. Like today my readiness score was like a 71, which wasn't good. Out of 100.
That's a bummer.
A big bummer for me. Whatever. I still got like 6,000 steps under my belt, so
there you go.
Fuck you, or ring. Anyway, so that's fun. I do think you could have friends too, but I don't know what we're going to be able to see. Because they don't promote like competition. Like you're not supposed to compete with each other.
Yeah. Which that's why I think Apple Watch. I mean, Apple Watch also stressed me out because it was so connected to everything else I did too.
It would ring and I was like, yeah.
Like that's why I started doing like do not disturb throughout the day so I could like pause my Apple Watch. Like I didn't like, because my dad would use it against me and my mom. Both had watches of being like, well, you can answer me. Like that I texted you, and it's like, whoa, that is not the point of this.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I do think though, like when I work out, this is not accurate. And I only know this because I would wear my Apple Watch to this one workout class in New York that's really hard, and I always die doing it. And I would burn like between 400 and 500 calories just in this 1 hour alone because I was fucking dying in the back. And so I wore the ring to it, and I was like, oh, I wonder what it'll say. So I already have a baseline, and it's not like some days in this class I would get like 200 calories. No, it was always between 400 and 500. Like I knew my range in this class. And so I took the class, and then after it was like, you burned 200 calories. And I was like, that's insane. There's no way.
Was there any chance that like Apple was wrong?
Maybe, but I felt like I was fucking dying in this class. Plus, I think a lot of people say it's not like great accuracy because my friend wears a watch. Not Apple, but a different type of workout watch because he's training for a marathon. But he also has an Oura ring, so he'll say like Oura ring's not accurate with like my
I think
steps
it being on your hand makes it a lot more difficult to be able to track your movements.
Yeah, so he said he trusts the watch more. So I've gotten it from someone who has compared that the watch is probably more right.
I bet they're like somewhere in the middle. Like I bet Apple overestimates it a little bit because you have to like if I never started a workout on my watch, it would undercount things. So I think it tends to just overestimate it a little bit. Okay. Yeah. And then I bet your Oura ring is undercounting. Well, we'll
see. It's fine either way. But yeah, so I got one of these. I'm cool now.
By the way, anybody who doesn't watch video, Alicia's just holding her hand up.
It's a thick ass band. I can't get over how crazy it eats like half my finger, it looks like. It's too big. It truly is just so
I need
thick.
them to create a daintier version, and I'm in.
I still have money in my HSA, so come give me another one. I'll buy two.
I don't think you can spend it on me.
No, I would buy another one if they came out with a thinner one. I'm not talking about you, please.
I was saying buy. I'm like, do not.
No, this is my money anyway. Do you have any news?
Well,
I only have some news. Mine's not news. Mine's just a thought I had when I was high.
Oh,
it was kind of funny.
Let's start with that. That sounds like it's about to be real fun.
It's less funny now that I'm not high. But so I got high with two of my friends on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got on the topic, but this girl looks at me and she's like, you know what's crazy? Is that like Jesus was just this guy who like did stuff. And like we all believed it. And I looked at her, I go, technically, he was kind of a magician. Like he was just out here performing miracles. And then she goes, and you know what? We loved that magician and we followed him to the ends of the earth. But now when guys are magicians, that's an ick. And I was like, no, it is. And then I go, and you know what's even crazier? Is that we loved that magician so much. But when women were magicians, aka witches, we burned them. And that was my thought when we were high. We were sitting there going like, the patriarchy's crazy.
Whenever you started this, the thought that went through my head was like, oh, well, it's just a man, you know, everybody believed men. Everybody
Jesus
still
was
believes
a magician.
men.
Jesus was an ick of a man because he was a magician. Like,
but man, was he able to get a following. But you're right. When women did magic, we burned them.
I mean, though, technically speaking, thinking about it now, Jesus was still nailed to a stake.
True.
They all died. All the magicians die.
But what's wild is that man, Jesus, was actually doing magic, whereas we just said women were doing magic. We didn't have proof that they were doing magic.
And Jesus is held in very high regard to this day, and people still hate witches, which is crazy.
Although they're having a rebound. I mean, the sweatshirts of like, we didn't burn witches, we burned women.
I want to be a witch. I believe I am, kind of. My mom thinks it too.
I'm not, and that's okay. Everybody has their skills.
Weirdly, like, even if it takes like 10, 20 years, I will manifest something and it eventually comes true. I mean, look at my last job. I manifested that summer of Severance and I fucking got it.
That is not magic.
Yes, it was.
I don't think manifesting is magic. I truly believe like you make things happen.
But I agree, but I think like a lot of people talk a big game and then like nothing happens. If I talk about something enough, it will usually kind of happen for me.
Yeah, because I think you put the right energy and stuff into the universe.
Yeah, but there's a good amount of luck. There's a good amount of luck in my life too. I have lucky girl syndrome and I think that's just my magic.
I like that. Okay, I believe you can convince me of that part. The lucky girl magic.
Performing spells, but no. I don't do anything extra usually to get these things. I just talk about it a lot.
It's like when Harry Potter at the beginning of the first movie, he's like doing stuff without fully realizing it. You haven't harnessed your full power.
That's true.
Witchdom.
You're right, and like
you're just doing shit and it's just happening, and you're like, whoa. And it's like Marnie during Halloween Town being like,
yeah, you're right.
Whoa, this crazy shit's happening because I want it to.
So I'm kind of a witch, but we're just not there yet.
You're just waiting for your little letter from Hogwarts.
Am I too old?
My guy friend during my Harry Potter day that I told everybody about last week, my guy friend was like, I'm convinced that you're going to get it at 35 because that means I'm going to get it. I was like, whatever you need to believe.
I would love to get it. I would go. What else am I doing?
Oh my God, I would absolutely go. To be honest, if anybody sent me a letter and said, hey, there's a bunch of people hanging out at a castle for 7 years.
Without question, I wouldn't even ask for like a tour before I go. I would sign the papers.
I'm in.
No questions asked. It's like that sound where they're like, am I too old to be here? Like, is it weird that I'm here? That would be me walking through Hogwarts and like looking down at the 7-year-olds and being like,
I was held back.
Fuck away from me.
Like, sorry.
I'm going to be the most powerful fucking witch you've ever seen, bitch.
Yeah, mine just needed some extra cooking time before we really released it.
Yeah, but like, everyone's more powerful in their 30s than their 10s at Hogwarts, so... Look at Dumbledore, one of the most powerful fucking wizards.
That's so true.
That guy was old, so...
He lasted longer than, like, the normal wizard witch.
Yeah, and he was power, so look out. God knows I'd become evil. I would take that place down from the beginning.
Yeah, but not in, like, a Voldemort way. I'd just be like, I'd be like, fuck you, bitches. I wouldn't be doing those curses where you're, like crippling people.
No, but I hate someone. Man, my vengeance with that one.
See, I would just make them, lose their memory, because then they have, no good days of what their life used to be.
They just have dementia. You just give them dementia.
Can you imagine, they're married and their wife is sitting at home waiting for them, and they never come home because they have no clue who you are anymore?
But you're punishing the wife, yo. That wife!
I mean, collateral damage.
Jeez.
I mean, I bet he was a terrible person, and so now she's set free.
You would have to do it to the wife, make her forget, and then the man has been left.
Ooh, okay.
Do the opposite. Yeah.
I like that.
Anyway, that was my high thought. Was Jesus was technically a magician, and that's kind of an ick.
That was incredible.
So, anyway, really tell me about real news.
Well, speaking of guys and girls leaving each other.
Magicians?
Nope. This goes into our listening category, but it has to be in the news. Did you watch the Call Her Daddy Rachael Kirkconnell episode?
No, but I got the gist.
Okay.
You tell me about it.
My God, I just feel so bad for her, but it was really good to watch. I think let me start with not just Alex Cooper. I think she does good interviews when she gets like the injured party or the person who's hurt, where she wants, like, those people want their story to be dug into. But when you get like the Katy Perry's, like, it becomes like a PR interview.
Yeah.
The positive things and yay, where you like can't ask those hard hitting questions. But
Fair.
In this, like, Alex was able to dig in and make Rachael Kirkconnell,
because she wants it. Yeah.
Like, think a little bit differently about her relationship, because
it's kind of crazy. She's already on a podcast. She took that PR and went, my story first.
Dude, she stayed silent all weekend and then went on the podcast. And after the podcast, like a day after the podcast release, that's when she put a statement out on Instagram. I mean, that's how you do it, lady.
That was crazy. Am I supposed to like her? That's a weird question, I know, but I don't think I liked her when she was on The Bachelorette or Bachelor.
You need to like her. I think this just is the problem
scorned.
Society has is we all jump so hard in or out on someone. Like, we can be neutral on who the person is, but in this situation be like, to the person who fucked up, like, you fucked up so hard about this situation. Like, everybody's now calling Matt James like a narcissist, and I'm like, okay, I don't think he's a great person in a relationship, but I don't think he's like a narcissist, like, on all tendencies. Is he selfish and did his career matter more? Yeah, but like, I don't think we got to go like so high and so low for each of these like individual people.
I would say I'm neutral on her. Like, before this, I was neutral on her, and I never really liked him.
No, I didn't either. Because
I thought it was fucking weird he didn't propose. I talked about it last week. I think that was a big red flag. You're on a show where the end is proposal, whatever.
Engagement.
Like, I get it, but just have a long engagement. It's so weird. Anyway, and now I just, like, I'm still kind of neutral on her, and I just hate him even more. Is that like a...
Yeah.
I think that's my response.
Well, okay. So in the interview, Rachael breaks down their relationship. They really go through it all, which I really appreciated. And that's actually what sparked me to do my timeline on them. Because I was like, oh my God, there has been a lot that's gone on between the relationship. So they didn't dive too deep. But if anybody didn't watch their season, you know, Rachael had... right on premiere night, Rachael had allegations, which turned out to be true, of, you know, a racist past in high school and in college.
Yeah,
and
something about a plantation,
It was an antebellum themed fraternity party, which my school had this, like, one of the fraternities did this at my school too. I like remember it so vividly. I never went, but I would say somewhat common on some college campuses.
Agreed,
which is not okay, but just to lay it out there. And so they kind of like went through all of that and how her and Matt got back together. And there was just some like weirdness when they were apart. And so they just like really built the story and what their present day relationship was. And it's that she really was always walking on eggshells, which seems to happen a lot when it's the Bachelor franchise, where it's the guy picking a girl. Like, the girl never feels good enough because a lot of times the dynamic just stays in that relationship even after the show, where it doesn't feel like you've fully been chosen. Yeah. And so that was really sad to hear about. And so they never lived together, even if they would be in like the same cities. Like, they had 3 different apartments amongst them. And she said that they cohabitated in all of them. But it was very clear, like, they were not living together, and he didn't want to live together until they were married, which just really feels like a firm boundary of like, I don't want to be
propose. Yeah, the fuck?
I understand if you're like, hey, I don't want to buy a house with somebody until like our finances already mingled. Totally understand, but
no, if you're sitting there and go, so you at the end of your show go, I'm not going to propose to you, but we're going to date. So then you're dating, you're not even moving in together. And she's probably like, hey, when are we going to take the next step? When are we literally going to do anything? And he's like, I don't want to live with you until we're married. But that's all on his timeline because he's the one that's
what they talked about a lot.
He's the one that's going to then say, oh my God, fuck this dude.
And what I find wild is I don't mind that, like, maybe they're not on the leases together or whatever, but in how you operate in those apartments, you should feel like you're living together. I feel like Paige and Craig did that well. Paige still kept her space, but she made room in her apartment because they lived in different cities. That's how Rachael and Matt were, is her apartment was in Atlanta. He had one in New York. and also one in Miami. And so if you feel like you're not living together, or you make it so clear that you're not living together and you don't live in the same city, that's weird.
Well, here's the thing. When you're in a long-term relationship with someone, and even if you are long distance, like, the idea is if we were in the same place, this would be our home, right? So Craig was always like, this is our home.
Yeah.
Not so much Paige, and I get that because she's renting, so I'm sure she's just like, this is my apartment. And like, because I too would be like, this is my apartment. It really isn't like a forever
I think it's
spot.
different when you have a home.
But Craig was getting like a forever spot. And like, what the fuck? I hate this man.
I know.
Anyway, go on.
So that's how it's like building up. In October of last year, so a few months ago, they're on a podcast, and
was it Nick
No. It's like de-influencing or something.
It doesn't even matter.
No, but they didn't talk about this on Call Her Daddy, but I think it's like important context. This went around social media even before this Call Her Daddy episode, that they talked about marriage, and they explicitly said on this episode, this other podcast episode, that the next step really is just to like pick out a ring together, make sure it's something like Rachael wants. Rachael doesn't know what type of ring she wants, and they both agreed that getting the ring truly is the next step. So like, they were talking about,
so let's get the
marriage.
ring.
Yeah. Then in November, again, this is not on the Call Her Daddy episode, but in November, he runs the New York Marathon, and they're interviewed by a TikTok page, and he says, I can't wait. Like, the TikToker asks, what are you looking forward to? And they say in the immediate future, food, because they're both starving. And in the greater future, he says he cannot wait to have a family with her in the future. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Like, that's so sweet. I love that. So he's in multiple times. Like last fall, he's saying, I'm in on this. Well, she said that in their breakup, they were in Tokyo. They got into it a little bit. She was stressed out of picking a restaurant. It was the
food. Yeah, something about fucking food. Yeah.
I get that. I get that dynamic. I'm someone who I want a perfect experience for people. I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I understand her getting upset over what truly is, like,
I get that too.
A restaurant is trivial, but like, I get the emotion, the build-up that goes with it.
Okay, I think for because I get that too, where I'm like, if we don't do it perfectly, like, everyone else is going to be mad. It's not going to be great. For her, though, it's almost higher stakes
job,
because he only ever posts about eating awesome food.
I know.
So why isn't he looking for, like...
Okay, this is also, people have found the receipts that this type of situation has happened multiple times.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, so
he's such a
everybody's
child.
saying she should start a food like influencing page, because she was the magic behind it. She's the one probably picking most of these places. But either way,
she probably never wants to eat again after talking to that man. She's like, I fucking hate food now.
Also, Japan is like her favorite country. So like, he did this in her favorite country. They go to the restaurant. They, it's silent, which is like such an awkward dinner. But they wake up and they decide they're going out tomorrow. And she was like, it didn't really roll over necessarily like that tension. But they're in the car to this like market. And she's like, I can tell he's annoyed with me. So she's again on eggshells now. And when they get back to the hotel, he basically, or like, they're like not in a great thing. They do the stupid market. They come home and she is about to leave to go to the airport because she alone is flying back to Joe, which we talked about this. And I was like, if they have to sit next to each other, that's terrible.
There was no fucking way. Yeah, but okay.
But that's wild. No matter what, he was staying in Japan and she was leaving to go home, but he was going to stay for a few extra days. Like, that would kind of annoy me because he would never come to the big life events happening in her life. Her best friend's wedding, he didn't go to.
Okay, that would piss me off. But I think in a normal, if I was like, I don't have to get back to work until like a day after.
She's going for a friend's baby shower, so I think this specific life event, not particular to him.
But yeah, if it's a wedding,
it
get
seems
your
like
tux,
he
bitch.
Consistently, she is going to do her
diminished
life,
her
and he's
life,
not in it. And so,
was she invited to like his friend's shit?
I don't know. They didn't really talk about
that would
stuff.
be interesting.
She just mentioned
he was like, I'm going to this wedding alone, because that would fucking hurt.
That's something interesting to dig into. You're right. They go back to the hotel so she can go to the airport, and he breaks up with her. And he basically says, I don't see us getting married. I don't see you being my wife, or like, and having a family, being the mother of my kids. And it's like, you just said this though, this fall. How dare you do this?
She can't even like discuss it with him because not like that she should be like, wait, but take me back. More of like a, what are you talking about? Because she has to go to the airport.
Yeah. Wait, you're going to be even more mad. Just wait. So she goes to the airport. I mean, they like discuss it. I think they got to the airport. It's not like it was 5 minutes, but they had a conversation.
He took her to the airport?
No. But I'm saying they had more time than just 5 minutes, and she leaves. But she goes to the airport, and she said she was hysterically crying. She's like, not okay in the airport, obviously. Yeah. I can imagine being a public figure going through this, by the way, because people had already spotted them in Japan.
Well, I was going to say, in Japan, like, are they known?
Nope. People had already spotted them and were like sending it into Dumois. And so she like checks her bag, goes through security, gets on the plane, and she mentions on Call Her Daddy that there's some weird tech thing. Ever since she downloaded this specific VPN, she cannot connect to plane Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Those two travel together all the time. He knows that. So she's sitting on this plane and she's about to take off, and she gets a text from, I forget if it's her friend or her sister, the screenshot of his Instagram post. And I think he posted that thinking she was already in the air.
I agree. And here's what's so fucked up. You do this to her when she's about to leave for the airport. And I get, okay, maybe we had like 30 minutes to discuss. If you're breaking up with me after 4 years, I get 4 hours of your time to fucking berate you and figure out what the fuck you're talking about.
Suck it up and break up with me when we're back at home.
Yeah, we're going to have a full ass discussion. Like, yeah. I'm not going to be like, well, no, I have to go. And after you break up with me, I deserve to be in the comfort of my own home or with my friends to cry. Not in an airport, you know?
12-hour flight.
So, fuck you, number one. Number two, you're then not even going to give me because now I'm on my way to the fucking airport. I'm hysterical. I don't have my phone. I'm just trying, because you already don't really have your phone at an airport when you're just trying to make your flight. So I haven't even had time to call my mom. And you're putting this out on Instagram for the world to see? You can't give me the 12 hours to get home, hug my mom, and tell her? Like, because also now I have to go to a baby shower to celebrate something I wanted.
Why was it that important 3 hours after you break up that the world has to know this?
And not only that, but you put the weirdest caption on there? I don't even know if we broke up. That was the photo. Weirdest caption.
He tagged the place The Bachelor was filmed at. Like, you knew the details. You had the details down.
Who's his PR? I can't. Anyway, and then you post it. I see it right before I take off, and I have no plane Wi-Fi. And now I just have to sit here and be mad and cry.
This has happened to me in a similar format.
You got dumped like this?
Somebody ended things with me. A guy I went abroad with ended things. I stayed an extra week in Europe. Ended things 30 minutes before I boarded my flight back home. And this is before like Wi-Fi. Everybody bought Wi-Fi. I literally sat and stared at the back of my headrest.
Yeah, in anger, I'm sure.
8 hours, baby. 8 hours.
Anger, sadness. Yeah,
nothing. I was like, what?
I cannot. I am so mad for her. Someone give me this guy's address. He lives in New York. Where's he at?
He better be in hiding.
Roll up, Matt James. Let's do this shit. How dare. And then the fact that you, after 4 years, don't even love me enough to actually give me time to have like a conversation and come to terms with it with you. Because we've been here for 4 years. Sure, if we've been dating for 4 weeks, break up with me and block my number. That's totally fine. I'll go catch a plane. 4 years. And you're like, you better get going for your flight.
After you have been saying that you also want to get married, you also want to have kids, you use those specific things to break up with me?
All the persona. Not even that. But then you don't even think like, I'll wait 24 hours to tell the world so I know she's like back with her family and like in her hometown.
He didn't get a chance to tell anybody.
And then they're all confused because we all read the same post and we went, is he high?
That's the thing.
Did he get kidnapped?
Remember when we all thought, like, some people thought like
he was hacked?
No, that or that, oh my God, they're broken up because they got engaged. Like she said she wanted to get, like, Japan's her favorite country. She would want to get engaged there.
Yo.
And like, she's silent on you for 12 hours. That's what's wild. If you are one of those friends who don't know her travel plan and like when she's offline, I would be like, oh my God, she's going to like pop in and surprise us.
Prison time.
Okay, it kind of gets worse. Are you ready? So obviously she doesn't go to that baby shower because she's like melting down. She lands at the airport. She drove her car. So she gets all of those messages and is just like crying in her car in the like parking garage or wherever.
Mom, Dad, come pick me up.
She was like scared to land. I can't imagine landing because now you're really back in the land of people know who you are. Bless her soul. But she goes home.
I would have walked through down there with tears down my eyes going, Matt fucking dumped me in Japan. Can you believe I thought he was going to propose? And here I am. Or gotten hammered on that plane.
Good point.
I can't, but then I had to drive my car home. 12 hours. We can figure it out. She lands,
it's now 6 p.m. because the post was posted at 6 a.m. New York time. It's 6 p.m.
God.
And she drives to her apartment and she immediately crawls into bed and obviously is not okay. And I think the next morning, her sister has a key to her apartment, came over and like sat with her. And then like the next night, I think, she wakes up at 1 a.m. because she has like weird jet lag and she sees Matt called her. And they talked for like an hour and a half, she said. And he said that he regrets the Instagram post. It's still up. The Instagram post is still up, Alicia.
No, first, let me tell you, if I was her sister, though, Matt James would have died. I'm going to Japan to find this man. Can't be that hard. A tall black man, here I come to Japan to find you. And I'm going to murder you dead in the streets. I'll go to Japanese prison. It's worth it. How dare. I'd be raging. Okay, so sorry. She talks to him.
And he is still calling and texting her.
No, blocked.
Up until that episode was recorded, which was this Monday.
Why? Did he know?
And Alex was like, no, I don't think he knew about the episode. But Alex,
did she just cut it off then? She's like, we talked about it and I'm done.
We need to stop that. Like,
Alex was like, you should stop.
And Rich was like, no, I told him, like, you have to stop texting and calling me. Like, I'm okay. Like, you can't feel like guilty and like try to like make it okay now. That's just not what is happening.
Yeah, what is he saying?
I don't know.
I regret the Instagram post. Do you regret breaking up with me?
I don't know. I'm like, that man is somebody else's problem now.
I hope he had the most miserable time in Japan. I hope that sister did find him. I hope she drove straight there across the ocean and went, no way, Jose. No, fuck him. What is he saying? Hey, I wanted to let you know I regret the Instagram post. Okay, that could have been a text message.
Again, delete it. Delete the Instagram
And then what?
post.
He just sits there and is, even if he doesn't say he regrets it, wants to get back with her, was he, I'm so sorry I did this. I feel so bad, but you're not the person I see myself having a fam with. Die. What are you saying to her? What are you saying to her?
A lot of people online are saying he like wants control of it still to make sure she doesn't really say anything, or like she kept doing the classic thing where like he wronged you and she's like, but he's not a bad guy. And it's like, hey,
it doesn't matter. It does, but no. First of all,
you don't need to defend him in this moment because again, like I said at the start of this little segment, is like, all right, he doesn't need to be vilified for like his entire life for this, but like it's okay for right now to say he is a bad guy. He fucked up. He did this terribly. Like him breaking up with you is not the problem. It's how he did it.
Do I think he's a bad guy? No. Do I think like Sandoval's a bad guy? No. Like there are all these people that have good and bad.
Yeah.
But this man showed his true colors.
Agreed.
The same way. So don't date him because he was with someone for 4 years who's fucking gorgeous, who would have done anything for him, who helped him build a fucking business of him eating his life away. Like she stood by him through multiple marathons. She fucking dealt with everything on that show. Let me tell you, if I went on The Bachelor and someone goes, I just want to date you, I don't want to propose, get fucked. Do you know what I had to go through? I was living with like 13 other women. Die. And then for you to take me to my favorite country after 4 years of she's my future, she's going to be who I started a family with, we're looking at rings, and you take me to my favorite country and break up with me? Okay, maybe you're not the total villain in everyone's story, but you're the villain in my story.
You're the villain right now. Right now, you are the villain.
America right now. Absolutely. So like, the next person that he dates, that's who he is. That's who he is in relationships.
What's wild is like, you would think after he calls her and says, hey, I'm so sorry about that. I really messed up on the post. Like, let's just talk about the post because everything else you can't go back and change. when he calls you and says, I'm so sorry for that, immediately delete it, Matt. And then second,
what are you
post
doing
a
about it?
goddamn fucking apology. Like,
if you wanted more time to talk, you should have broken up with me after we both got back from Japan. You waited this long. You'd obviously been thinking about it. Also, this man has again showed you your true colors where he gets a little annoyed and he goes, now it's time to break up with her. He couldn't wait. He couldn't just, so either this had been brewing for a long time and he just sat in this relationship, or he gets a little annoyed and was like, I can do better. No, fuck you. No one date him. The same way no one should date Sandoval. Have you ever heard of once a cheater, always a cheater? This is once a bad guy, always kind of a bad guy.
No, I agree, because he clearly has like issues with commitment, like long-term commitment. And he said on his Bachelor season that he came from a broken family and all this stuff. And it's like, you're not the first person to ever have divorced parents. I don't have divorced parents. I know you don't. So like, I don't understand what it's like to have that like trauma from divorced parents, but many people who have divorced parents get married.
Can be in a good relationship, can be a good partner in a relationship. I forget, it had to be Love is Blind. There was once a couple where this, like, they were getting to know each other on the outside, and he kept saying, like, I'm just scared I'm not going to be a good enough partner because I have divorced parents. And everyone kept saying, but, like, you don't have to be your parents.
Yeah.
If you hated having divorced parents because your dad cheated on your mom, don't cheat so you don't get divorced. Like, it's very fucking simple. I have never understood I'm gonna cheat on you. Just break up. Listen, I can kind of see, like, we got drunk, something happened, and now I'm breaking up with you. But
like,
if you're
at one-time accident, I understand.
Full-blown affair, just break up with me, because it's gonna be messier if you don't after the fact.
Which I want to clarify, he didn't cheat. She says he didn't. She doesn't think he cheated, but
I know I'm just sounding like a fucking rant now.
You're on the Tom Sandoval like train.
I know, but if you want to break up like this, he may not always be a bad guy in relationships, right? He may learn, he may go to therapy, he may grow.
But it requires something. It requires to grow and learn. That's what I didn't like shame him for not wanting to get engaged in The Bachelor. If you're scared of that, I understand. Okay, work on yourself and like have like if you already have commitment phobe, you just shouldn't have gone on The Bachelor. But
that's it. Don't go on a show that ends in a commitment.
Yes, but that's done and over with.
Literally any other show.
I understand from the moment you are not engaged on the show, taking the 4 years as one would in a normal relationship now to like take your time to like get engaged and working through your fears and like building a strong like foundation of trust. Are we working though? Yeah. But that's the thing, is it sounds like he kept putting it off, and it got to the point. But he would also talk about it so publicly, so he egged it on. And now it's the time where you gotta like shut up, like and show it or walk away. And he chose to walk away. And you're right, that's what it shows. Is the next person who dates him is you can't trust what he says. He's untrustworthy.
He's not going to commit to you. He's not going to tell you the truth. And he's going to dump you in the worst way. And he's not going to care about your feelings after the, like, he never cared about her. No. The fact that he couldn't even wait for her to get home for him to make a public post, that shows he never loved her.
Telling. That is
he
more
never
telling.
Loved her. He never cared about her feelings. He never loved her. He's
not
also kind of,
you don't like her. You don't like her as a human. You don't care about her. Like, you do not treat somebody like that.
Because even if, like, God forbid something happens with you, and we're going to communicate about it, we're going to deal with it, and I'm going to take your feelings in consideration because I not only love you, but like you. He literally went, well, fuck her, and just did something that hurt her even worse.
Yeah.
Like, he already broke up with her in Japan, and he's like, how can I twist the knife? That's literally, I hope he never finds peace until he goes to therapy, which he never will. That'll be never. There we go. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Do you have any news that's not going to piss me off? Don't piss me off.
I think I have one that might, and with a follow-up that might make you laugh. Sheena's releasing her book this summer.
I'm obsessed. I can't wait to get the audiobook that she's going to listen. I don't listen to audiobooks, but I would listen to Sheena. Give me her life story.
She said, like, people know her from the show. People know her from her podcasts and vlogs, but there's a side of her that you don't know.
Believe it. I agree. Yes.
And I want to know about the pre-Vanderpump life of hers.
Yeah, when she dated Rob the first time.
I thought you were going to say the John Mayer moment. She said she's going to be spilling tea.
Stacy and John Mayer are coming back. She was on the hills for a little, yeah, I believe it. I love Sheena. Go on. Anyway.
Okay, this is a follow-up on Sheena that I think you're going to love.
I already know.
She no longer has the dream to be on Dancing with the Stars. She's so over that.
She's upgraded.
She wants to be on the Traitors.
Good for her. She'd be out the first day. That's who we're killing.
No, she's going to be just like Tom Sandoval. Useless.
No, I think she's going to be like a housewife. Like, immediately someone's like, let's just get rid of her. Like,
oh my God.
She's an easy kill for the Traitors. They're going to be like, what causes chaos?
That's true. Like, you're talking too much. Like, what's going on?
She's dead in the water immediately. But I would watch it and I would eat it up. Anyway.
I just need her to be at one round table because I think she'll cry if they like vote her out instead of if she gets murdered.
Yeah, she's gonna be the first kill of the Traitors. And I could totally see her sitting there too with Alan and being like, I think I would make a really good traitor.
That's what I need. I need the pre-show content.
She wouldn't get picked. Yeah. Anyway.
Jesse and Demi from Mom Talk unfollowed each other.
The twins! They unfollowed each other.
Now you're going to have to tell them apart because one of them's going to be with one side, the other's going to be with the other.
That's sad because they were on the same side, weren't they?
Yeah, they seemed like really close. I mean, it's all perception.
I'm sad because they were on the same side and that side was the side I was on.
I know.
So is my side being split in two? Do I have to pick amongst the sides? What I
am confused about and actually annoyed about lately, anytime I hear anything with Mom Talk, is they're not filming anymore. Their new season, or season 1 is airing right now on ABC for all the people who don't have Hulu. Highly recommend. And season 2 is coming out, I know for sure in May. I think the date is May 15th, but don't hold me to that. So this is not being covered.
Because Mom Talk won't survive this.
Not this. This is what's going to take them down.
Is the twins unfollowing each other and us not being able to tell them apart now. Because before you could just be like Jesse and Demi, and now you have to be like, which one's that? One of them's dating an old guy and the other one's not. And that's how I tell them apart too.
Demi is dating the old guy. And
the other one does hair.
Yes.
That's how you tell them apart.
And Demi is on Whitney's side. It's like Whitney and Demi against everybody now.
Yo, Demi, I already am not on your side. Although I think Whitney's a really good villain.
I agree.
I really think without her, the show would not be the same.
And I think she knows to be the villain and not to take it personally now.
Her like playing into it kind of makes it worse. I like when you're a villain, but you don't think you're a villain. Like the same way like a Tom Sandoval-esque villain. Like he made the season what it was because he was just sitting there going like, oh no, everyone's mad at me. Whitney I like cries in a corner and goes like, but I'm a good person. And you're like,
if you're going to be the villain who's in on it, you have to be the Spencer Pratt who is like revving it up even higher.
Yeah. So it depends. It depends how Whitney comes into it.
True. So we shall see. Okay, last news segment is Jill Zarin's daughter from Roni.
I knew it.
Is maybe dating Leo from Love is Blind.
Yeah, did you not know this?
No, when did she was just engaged like 5 months ago.
She posted right after like the Love is Blind stuff came out.
That late, like that long ago?
Yeah, it was like right around then.
No.
Because I think I was on Love is Blind TikTok or something. And she was at like a gallery of some sort with Leo. But her caption was like, is it too soon? ? And everyone was like, they're just friends because they probably run in the same. Like, let me tell you, the Jewish circle is very small.
Yes.
Sarah's gonna listen to this and be like, Sarah, I know. Everyone knows everyone from camp. It's crazy. But my old college roommate knew everyone.
Well, anyway, especially I feel like if you're in certain hubs of it, it like compounds even more.
So everyone was like, it's just the Jewish circle. And also now that he's like in the public eye, like obviously
that adds them another circle to run in. Yeah.
But I literally was like, I don't know. I think she's single and there's like a rich Jewish guy here.
True.
Jewish people love when there's another Jewish person around because they can bond. Listen, my friend in college only dated Jewish guys. She was a lot of Jewish men won't date me because I'm not Jewish. I get that. And I find it offensive.
Also, Leo is independently wealthy. It's not like he's up and coming in
because his parents died and he
got the art.
The art gallery. They were at an art gallery, which was extra funny. So I thought Allie just like went to his art gallery because now I think Jill was also there. So I was like, it's not a date. It's just Jill and Allie are there.
She posted him this week on her Instagram feed.
I literally went, I bet they're gonna date.
He's a hot rich
Jewish guy.
No, I agree. What annoys me is
why she was just who cares?
The reality TV adjacent. Like, I'm not going to get enough of this. I want more.
So, like, they're never going to be on anything.
Yeah.
What's her name? Allie Ally
Shapiro? No, she's not a Zarin.
Oh, you're right. She's not a Zarin. I would use Zarin.
God.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Wow, she's too hot for him. He's really punching.
I agree.
No offense.
I agree. I think in person he could probably have a decent personality. I just think he doesn't know how to do it on TV. Why is
the first comment, need that shirt? No, why aren't we? I'm sorry. The crossover? We're not going to talk about the crossover. We're going to go need that shirt.
You're Jesus, so funny.
Fuck. I always go to the comments. There we go. Ooh, is this a thing? Yeah. There we go. Whoever that is. They're definitely together. And I love that. She went from being engaged to being with... I
need the tea, though.
The rich art dealer.
I need the tea on the breakup.
On her breakup?
Just one or two comments, please. Like, I never watched Aspen Ovard on, like, YouTube or something, but now I've gotten onto her, like, TikTok lore about her divorce. Ooh. And she's at least dropping a few little details to, like, keep me a little, like, fed. Allie, I need a little bit more.
Yeah, she hasn't said anything.
Give some sassy comments. Like, even if it's not, like, real details.
You know what I always think, though? And this is terrible, but it lives in my mind rent-free.
What?
When Allie was like, can I go to fat camp? And we saw Jill drop her off at fat camp. And I remember watching that going, she's not even fat.
Did you
I remember being like, what is happening to my self-worth?
Do you remember that, like, fat camp on MTV?
Yo, I kind of wanted to go to it, though. I was kind of like, this kind of looks lit.
I feel like that, and then also all the marketing about 100-calorie snacks is, like, what gave everybody in our generation body dysmorphia.
Can I say, though, fat camp, no one looked like Allie there. Allie was not fat.
No, I agree. But I bet, like, in her New York circles, she felt like she was...
Yeah, that's true. There was one girl on that MTV fat camp, though, that was not fat, and she's like, I'm just here to get real skinny. And she was literally balls to the wall every exercise, and it kept being like, if I was at fat camp, I would hate this bitch. I would hate her so much. Because, like, everyone else is there trying to get healthy. Not to say fat camp's a good idea or a bad idea, but everyone there was genuinely, like, trying to
change their life.
Trying to build healthy habits. Yeah. Like, you could see the struggle of a lot of the kids that were like, I don't just want to eat 100-calorie snack. I want more. Because it's retraining your brain and your body. And this girl was just like, we gotta run miles. And I'd be like, yo, you need to die. Well, who's drowning her in the lake?
The dating scene was a whole thing on that show.
So funny.
Like, her being the skinniest bitch in town.
Yo, like, everyone hit on her. You. And she was a bitch about it, too, because she'd be like, of course he likes me, but I'm not into him. And I'd be like, why? Because he's actually at fat camp for a reason, and you're just here to be the skinniest bitch for once in your life? No, fuck her. Fuck her.
This is like, if you can afford to
go to fat camp, go to fat camp. As a kid, how else are we losing weight in a fun way? We're going to camp.
I was going to say, and if I was just going to respond and lose weight because I was the person that my mom was like, we're going to the Y, we're working out.
Oh, no, I had a friend whose mom was like that. One time she woke us up, we had a sleepover. No one told us this was how it was going to go. It was 3 of us, and we were at this one girl's house. And we were best friends with her too, and we knew that she went to Lifetime Fitness, but we didn't know, like, the extent of it until one day we slept over. We were up till 4 a.m., like you are, on AIM. Doing whatever, and her mom bangs the door down and is like, I'm going to Lifetime Fitness, you have to come with me. And me and the friend were like, okay, me and my other friend were like, okay, we'll fall asleep and just wake us up when you get back, because how long are you gonna be at Lifetime Fitness? We'll just lay around your house. Like, what's the problem?
I thought you were gonna say the mom was forcing you guys to go.
No, but the mom goes, so we asked, we were like, dude, can we just, like, stay here? Because it was 6 a.m. you'll be back by 8 and then we'll be up, you know? And the mom goes, no, either you can come with us or you have to go home. And so me and my friend are like, okay, we'll get dropped off at my house.
Yeah. We'll sleep at my house.
Nope. But then this mom goes, I'm not driving you there. I'm going straight to Lifetime. So we look at each other and we had to walk home with our fucking bags and our pillows at 6 a.m. down to my house, which really wasn't far, but it was like a good 20-25 minute walk.
Yeah, but like, again, you have all your shit. It's not like you chose like at 3 p.m. that you wanted to go and mom's like, I don't have time to like take you.
And we were probably like 13. And so we're like
wild.
Walking and we get back to my house and it's like 6:30 and my mom's like, the fuck are you doing here? It's a Sunday. And me and my friend were like, you will never guess what just happened to us, to the point that my mom was like, you're never sleeping there again, because who does
I would never go there ever again.
You can't skip your daughter can't skip one Lifetime moment.
Okay, even that aside, that's fucking crazy, but you can't talk to like almond moms like that. I can't sleep in your house while you're going to work out for your 2-hour shift. Like, I'm just
what do you think I'm gonna do at 6 a.m.?
I just want to sleep.
I'm 13. You've known me for a long time. You know my parents.
Okay,
and this is what you're making us do?
When she says no to that, you can't drop me off. You said it was a 25-minute walk. That would have been a 5-minute drive.
That was the craziest part, was me and this other friend were like waiting by the car with our stuff, and she's like, no, I'm going straight to Lifetime. And we were like, also, you didn't tell us ahead of time, like, you either have to go to, like, you could have let us know the night before and we could have arranged transportation or brought our workout stuff. Like, we didn't, even if we were like, we want to go to Lifetime, we were in our pajamas.
That's wild.
So, anyway, fat camp sucks.
Go to fat camp. Don't go to your friend's house.
Camp. Don't go to your friends. Yuck. Anyway, should we do my book club?
Yes.
Do you want to go first? Because weren't you reading a really fun book?
I haven't read anything interesting, I have read, but nothing worth talking about.
What were you reading last week? What did we talk about when you were like, I have a book?
I did finish that. Mistakes We Never Made by Hannah Brown, which ties into the Matt James stuff, actually, so perfectly.
Did they date?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they did.
Matt James and Hannah?
I think meant the people in my book. No, Matt James and Hannah didn't. Matt James, in my timeline, if anybody goes and watches it, his best friend was the runner-up.
Dated Hannah. That's who I was rooting to win Hannah. That was one of the ones I caught glimpses of when I lived with my old roommate. What the fuck?
They were all in a quarantine club during the start of the pandemic.
Cute.
Yeah. Which somebody said today on TikTok that Braxton Berrios, Alex Earl's boyfriend, was maybe in that group too, which I was like, whoa, too deep. I don't need this crossover.
I don't care about that. But
the book, Mistakes We Never Made, really good. Like I said, I love the time thing. They obviously get together in the end, and she did a good job of pitching the next story. I already knew the title of the next one, so I knew what to look out for. The next book is called like The 4 Engagement Rings of like Sybil. I don't know what her last name is, but I'm like, that's going to be good, because who gets 4 engagement rings? And you find out a little bit about that character, like 2 of the engagement rings. So now I'm like, all right, well, now I need to know how the other 2.
That kind of sounds like the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how does someone have 7 husbands? Dang. Okay, Hannah Brown, go off. I wanted to look up, was it called Mistakes We Never Made? Yeah. Oh, is it because they never dated?
It was a lot of like, because they would flash back in time and there were 3 or 4 different moments where like they could have beens. And because they grew up together, it was her and this guy grew up together. And so I feel like it resonates a lot if you've ever had that, like, because you had that crush that you like grew up with where you're like, man, I wonder if something would have happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
Well, not yours, but
yeah.
I feel like everybody has that one person where they're like, wow, I knew this childhood person, and like what have our lives been?
What would you rate it out of 5 stars? Because I could tell you the Goodreads rating is not very good.
Oh, really? I would give it a 4.
Okay, this is a 3.36. I don't really read anything below a 4.
That's okay. I would say it's not like that crazy of a book. Like, it's not, I just find it a lighthearted, easy,
it was just
not
a cute,
too cheesy of a story. But I really like time jump play, and I don't think other people enjoy it like I do.
It depends how it's done. I read, oh my God. So remember how I was reading Onyx Storm, the 3rd Fourth Wing book?
Yes.
I finished it, and it was actually quite a ride. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil Fourth Wing, but just to give you some background of like what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've heard about it. Fourth Wing is very Divergent-esque. dragons, dark leathers. They're right. Like how she was in Dauntless. That's kind of like, we follow this like weak, fragile. I love how every main character in like a fantasy book is like, they're so tiny and weak and fragile.
But they're strong.
Yeah, but they fucking save the world. Okay. Anyway, this weak, fragile girl, she is basically going into the Dauntless
sector.
Quadrant. Okay. Yeah. They call it the Riders Quadrant. So she's basically the warriors. She gets a dragon and anyway, her mom's in charge of the school that they train at this. I think it's like a college-esque type of thing because they're a little older. But her mom basically, like when she was in charge, there was this rebellion of like people who were trying to take her down and like the current thing in power. And the rebellion lost, sadly, and they executed all the parents of the rebellion. And now all the kids that were, all their parents just got fucking slaughtered. They're all forced in the Riders Quadrant. So they're all forced to go to war because the thought is like, they either fight for us or they die. So
like show up or
whatever. So she has a lot of enemies in this quadrant, one of which is basically the leader of all these kids because he was the oldest when everyone died. So his name's Xaden. The main character's name is Violet. And so they obviously fucking fall in love. I'm not even spoiling it that much. If you can't get that within the first 30 pages. Anyway, now I'm going to announce there may be spoilers if you don't want it for Fourth Wing, but I'm not going to go too in depth. So basically the first book is her like very Divergent-esque, like learning the ropes, like knowing something sketchy is going on, working with her enemy to like whatever, falls in love. Great. Anyway, so how does it end? Someone in power tries to give like the Xaden his like group that he orders around because he's a leader.
Yeah.
Tries to basically put them at like a post that he knows is going to be attacked. And so they all almost die because Violet was there. And so she almost dies, but she's fine. Her brother, her long lost missing brother that everyone thought was dead, ends up being alive and mends her. Wild. I know. Anyway. But I will say one of my favorite characters did die, and I'm still not over it. Anyway, the second book is then like, the rebellion's going to be in full force. We know that leadership is lying. We go back to the school. We're trying to fight these like zombie-esque creatures called the Venom. Great, whatever. The second book was kind of boring. It was a lot of like, it didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it did, annoying. But it was kind of like,
was it more like just the details and like building the world and understanding things?
Yeah, it was like we're building the world and like that's fine, but it was very like too late for me. I was already in the characters. I didn't care that much.
You needed more character development rather
than
it
was very like almost like we were sitting around and discussing and learning, which is fine, but also whatever. But at the end of the thing, there's this big battle and the zombie-esque people show up and Violet's mom ends up like giving her life to save the greater good. Whoa. Which she does, but at the time that this was happening, Xaden didn't know that. He was fighting elsewhere. So then the book ends with Xaden, in order to save Violet and the greater good, has given his soul to these zombie-esque things. So the second book ends with him like being
That's what
Venom.
You said last week is you had started now the third book and there was a big cliffhanger that you were like, pumped. Was that it?
Yeah, so he's Venom. So we end and we're like, oh my God, he's a zombie. What does that mean? Then all of a sudden we like open up the third book and he's like at school and he's like fine. And I was like, stop. So they didn't explain what happens when you become Venom enough.
Yeah.
I had to literally like, I was asking anyone who could tell me. I guess it doesn't make sense, and I stand on it. I guess if you're only an initiate, if you like, because how the Venom get their power from sucking the life out of like the earth, basically. Okay. So he, in order to become Venom, to get more power, he sucked it from the earth. So that's how he like became this thing. But I guess if you do it once or twice or even 3 times in Xaden's case, you don't really become Venom. You eventually could.
What? I couldn't tell you. Keep sucking from.
I couldn't tell you. Once you're a zombie, to me, you're a zombie. I don't know why. Because Xaden multiple times throughout the book like pulls power from things, and Violet will be like, no, you're gonna turn Venom. And I'm like,
that's wild because
what is he?
Like, we compared it to Vampire Diaries, sometimes how the rules change, but, like, if you drink vampire blood and you die, you are a vampire.
You're a fucking vampire.
There's no... I mean, like, there's a time where it could wear off, but it's very obvious in that world when something was happening and when it wasn't. It's just the rules of their vampirism were changing, that you can't... You have to be very concrete with the rules of when somebody is
of your
something or not.
fantasy world. Yes. I think it's because he was obviously a character that we needed around. So she's like, these are new rules. Or she just didn't tell us how it works.
Yeah.
And so now I'm sitting here going, but like, why is it different for him? Whatever. She also wrote the first like 100 pages as more of a movie script than like a book. So if we were watching the movie, we could see like this. There's that person that we don't necessarily know, but we know he belongs to this country, like, because he's wearing these colors or whatever, as they're, like, building treaties. She was like, here's person A, B, C, D, and E. And I was like, who the fuck? And what are we doing here? So it was very confusing at first. But it got better. We go on a magical quest because not only do we need to save the greater good, like, not just our little school, we got to save the greater good. But we also have to cure Xaden from being a zombie, which everyone's telling.
Because he's not a full zombie yet, right?
My favorite is, Violet really kind of bugged me because she's like, no, we have to cure Xaden. And everyone, including Xaden's like, you cannot cure me. Just like, yuck, stop.
Well, isn't the bigger priority like saving the world?
No, she's like, and I think it's supposed to be romantic, but she's like, I burn the world for him. I'm like, no, I get it. And he does the same thing. He's like, I would literally let everyone die for her. And I'm like, I get it, but also it's so tough.
But you want it. Like, let's all be so fucking for real. You would not let the whole world die just for this one person to live.
It was kind of crazy. I didn't fall. They had like a really cute, like meet cute and like love story. I didn't love their love in this book because it just felt very like they couldn't see outside of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, Xaden becomes, because no one knows he's Venin, which is also crazy because it's very obvious when people are Venin. I don't know. Whatever. He becomes like a duke, and everyone's like, you have all these responsibilities as a duke now. And he's like, I don't care about any of them. I only care about Violet. And like, I get it, but it didn't feel great. And then I'm just going to bitch about this now. She only told Xaden's friends that he like became this thing because Venin are killed immediately. And she's like, I got to save him.
Okay. Yeah.
So she only told his friends, and that makes sense. But then one of her friends does find out and is like really hurt that she didn't tell him. And she can't see like why he would be hurt. Like, he goes, like, when have I ever given you a reason to think that I'm not going to be on your side and support you?
Yeah.
Yeah, when have I ever, like, given you that? And she's like, no, you don't understand. And he's like, he also was like, you've only told people that will protect him. You haven't told anyone that has your back fully. Like, that you're not looking at it from yours. And then also, she didn't tell her sister, who was, like, multiple times throughout the book, her dad has written her letters. She always hears it. The only person you can trust is your sister. Multiple people tell her that. She reads it in all her dad's
wild.
books. She doesn't tell her sister, and her sister's rightfully mad, and she just ignores her sister. Because she's like, she can't see.
I don't like characters like that. Like, I love a love story in a book, like, cutesy, whatever, but
there's a world outside.
You can't lose I don't find that attractive. You can't lose yourself.
I didn't love that.
Like, that's too realistic and happens all the time, and I don't want to read that.
I get it, right? Realistically, my mom should want to, like, burn the world down for my dad, but they wouldn't happen. Like, this is real, like, could happen in this stupid book.
The whole world is going to die, or you can, like, prioritize the whole world or your significant other. I'm so sorry. If you're going to choose your significant other, we got bigger problems.
Yeah, I don't trust you. Like, anyway, there were 2 other love stories that I was way more. We got maybe two pages of each of them in the whole book, but I was really into them. One of them's like another leader of like the rebellion kids, and another leader of like opposite. And like, man, when I tell you I was eating that one up, they didn't even we don't even know if they like each other. I could just tell. And then another one's like 2 people that we've been hinted like they flirt a lot.
Yeah,
but we got a little bit of like. The like, I'm not leaving you in this battle. You're coming with me. I was like, say that.
Like the protection without something like happening.
Well, she was about to be dead. Her friend had just died and she didn't want to leave the body. And he was like, I'm not leaving you on this battlefield.
Cutesy.
So he picked them both up. Shut the fuck. I literally was like a dead body and this other girl. And
oh my God.
Anyway, So it ends with, I'm going to spoil, it ends with basically they're losing this battle to the Venom, and Xaden is like, you know how I could win the battle? If I just fully turn and take from the earth. So he which I was rooting for the whole time. If you're going to be bad, turn bad, bitch. Let's do this thing. Let's be a villain.
Well, turn bad for a good reason, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I'd just like to say I did assume this when I read the ending of the second book. I went, the third book, they're going to try to save him, and at the end they're not going to be able to.
That's the only next step.
Let me already tell you, the fourth book, he's going to be fully over there, but he's going to take it from the inside out. Like, a little part of him is going to fight it. And then the fifth book, they'll be reunited and it'll be fine. So that's the love story, I think. Anyway, he pulls from the earth. He is going to win the battle, whatever. As he's like doing it, they are like magic. So they have this bond with each other, which is also crazy. But she whispers to him, like, I love you. So he even says, because it's his POV, he's like, I don't fully lose myself. Like, there's a little part of me that hopes. And so he also, though, is really betrayed by someone, and we have no idea who. But he's like, I can't believe my brother, who's known what I've gone for 5 months, is now a Venom, like, has turned. We don't know why. It makes no sense. But no one knows who this brother is, because Xaden doesn't actually have a brother.
So it's just like my comrade.
It's up for debate. There's like 3 different people it could be, and everyone's like prioritizing. I personally think it's Violet's brother that turned, or Xaden's cousin. Okay. Those are my 2. But Xaden's cousin was seen somewhere else when Xaden's POV was happening. So that one doesn't totally make sense. Doesn't matter. But then Violet wakes up and she can't remember anything. It's like 12 hours later and she's like, what the fuck? And she has a wedding ring on her finger and a note that basically is like, don't come looking for me. It's yours now. Which we assume to be the land he rules over. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
we have no idea.
If he and Violet are actually married, then her brother is his brother.
That's what people are saying, because he said something like the Venom referred to like if you and I both turned, we would be sisters. That's how they refer.
Gotcha.
So he kept saying like, my new brother is here and I feel betrayed. And
so
Violet's brother did know. Have
a prior brother link.
Yeah, but people are like, new brother, and also Violet's brother would be his new brother. So like that kind of makes sense.
Double meaning. It was probably very intentional.
I also, though, could see his cousin, because the whole book, his cousin is basically like, stop, because Xaden knows he's going to die and become a zombie, basically. Mm-hmm. And so he's prepping his cousin to take over the country that they have family rights to. And his cousin doesn't want it. His cousin's like, let me fight. I don't want to manage this fucking property. And so then if he's marrying Violet, she then owns the property because he knows his cousin's not going to be able to do it.
Okay.
So who knows? But I really hope it's Violet's brother, because I don't like him. I like the cousin, so I don't want him bad. The cousin's very cute, so we'll see. But that's Fourth Wing. I gave it 4 stars because a lot of it was really difficult to get through.
I wonder if anybody else has been reading the series.
I'm sure it's all over. But let me know. Feel free to chat. I'm in on it. I'd love to discuss theories because I'm undecided on a lot.
I get that.
And I don't understand anything, as you could tell.
Honestly.
Anyway, let's get to watching.
Let's do it. What have you been watching?
Oh, the Traitors. I've been watching the Traitors.
For full disclosure, Alicia and I texted back and forth so much after that last episode.
Did we? I feel like I could have done more.
No, I mean, normally we like save as much as we can for this podcast, but like we actually talked about it last week.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about it. So, we leave off with me going, Boston Rob, no. Wes is going to know. And Wes says, how do you know that someone's 100% a traitor?
Yep.
Wes did kind of get fucked, though. Someone sold him out real quick. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Well, I mean, he said it in the best way he possibly could, of just like posing the question. He didn't give an answer.
Rob's suspicious.
I know.
Yeah. But Wes is good. He's been in this spot before. He knows. Anyway, they kill Robin. Which I think we can all, which was dumb.
I agree.
Carolyn is sitting there going, no. And I'm like, why am I agreeing with her?
I need to know if the rest of the audience agrees with us of being like, Carolyn has all the right takes.
My friend Lainey, who also is big in all things reality TV like us, she agreed that this was a dumb take. I mean, we both hate Robin, so like hasta la vista, but it was a dumb game move.
All their moves. Everyone. I don't understand a single move that they've done. I've never heard them talk. I've never heard them pitch someone and go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then when they talk, I'm like, no, that's the exact reason you shouldn't be doing it.
Bad idea. Yeah. Whatever. But then I always love the breakfasts because they're all so weird and awkward.
I know.
I don't think anything weird happened in this one, if I remember, but people start kind of whispering about Rob a little bit. They're a little suspicious. And then Ivor does tell Rob, because he's really in on Rob, 100% a faithful, is like, hey, Wes threw your name out there because he said you would know a traitor if you were a traitor.
It made me like Ivor because I'm like, thank God he's given the tip to Rob.
No, I was like, Ivor, shut the fuck up, dude. I need new traitors in there. So yeah. I'm rooting for all their demise. So then, Danielle and Caroline also discussed that they don't trust Rob, which I was like, you two should work together, and you could easily build a case against him. But this is in the circle.
This is, I know. Everybody's just making bad moves. Every single person on this cast.
If we both hate this person, we could easily accuse him of being a traitor because he is. Even if he's not, we could be like, who's the most dangerous player? Boston Rob.
Yeah.
Who pulled that move last time? Boston Rob. He's a dangerous player. Let's think about what Bob the Drag Queen said. That could have been a cakewalk, but only if Danielle and Carolyn both agreed on it. You can't just have Wes doing it.
But again, you have to do it subtly. Like, they need to work together in like a secret alliance. Obviously, they're the Traitor secret alliance, and then they go and attack different sides of the house.
Yeah.
And they don't know Wes's theory yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
But once they like pick up wind of that, that's how they need to attack it and do what we said that Boston Rob needed to do with Bob the Drag Queen. You just like subtly plant somebody else's seeds. You puncture the ground in the hole, but you put like the Dylan seeds in. You put the Wes seeds in. Like, pitch everybody else's theories.
The best was Danielle was like, I have to get Boston Rob out because I don't trust him. So to do that, I'm going to get Carolyn out and bring in a traitor I trust. And I went, no one trusts you, bitch.
Like, I was like, okay, you're so right. You just reminded me you constantly have bad takes. Like,
so
you
Danielle
constantly do the wrong thing.
Danielle's like, I got rid of Carolyn to get rid of Boston Rob. And I'm like, why don't the two of you who just agreed you don't trust him go for him together? Like, what's the issue? Anyway, so then we go to that game. It's like a trivia game, but all the answers are there, and you have to like smash.
Alicia,
Dude, Tom Sandoval cracked me up in this. You would have thought he was fighting for war. He was so ready to jump the candles.
I know.
And get his little ass in there.
Wait, let's pause on him really quick, because since we watched so much Bravo, do you think that he thinks he's so important or like such a target that he needs to be involved in all of this?
Yes. He cannot just be chill. He's thinking if he's involved, he knows exactly what's happening, and he's the puppet master.
And that if he is not safe tonight, or every night that he's
going
not
home,
safe, he's
going
number
home
one target. Yes.
Yeah, every day he wakes up in the Scottish castle, he's like, I don't know, they're dumb for not taking me out because I'm number one target. This guy's crazy. Yeah, so he's like, I have to get safety. And I'm like, literally no one knows your name, so we can't even write it down on the chalkboard. No one.
Everybody's spelling everybody's name wrong, and they know how to spell Tom, but they don't even know your name's Tom.
They don't know what your name is. You're just the sweaty guy.
You're the guy that Chriselle hates, and like, that's fine.
Yeah, Chriselle sits next to you. She hates you. You sweat a lot, and you're always like looking crazy. He's always like beady-eyed, like just.
You're like crazy, but not game crazy. You're just like, just stay over in the corner, please.
You're like the homeless guy that we're just trying to avoid a little, but we don't want to hurt. We would rather not chat with, you know? Yeah. So he gets his whatever. The game is basically you can put a portrait of someone up on the wall to get safety.
The game is you want to get the answer right to
get the answer right and then get money. Yeah. But then you also get safety. So a lot of people are playing this smart and they're like, I'm not going to try to go for safety till the very end, which genius.
Yeah. Which I didn't realize. I thought that there were going to be like, let's say 8 questions, 8 people who got it. But then we quickly find out it's only 2 slots and people are replacing people constantly.
Yeah. Wait, so you also don't want to be a person to really replace a lot of people, right? So you just want to sit in the back.
Off. Yeah.
But then you're also going to put your picture up there. So you don't want your picture off, right? Or that's the gameplay you should take.
Yeah.
So they do it a little bit. The only important parts were like so Tom Sandoval gets his picture up there, and then I think Derek gets his picture up there, right? And then Danielle goes, and she gets an answer right. And she doesn't go for her picture. She goes, I'm going to save a housewife so she doesn't get eaten tonight. And so she picks Dolores, and everyone went, why are you picking Dolores?
And she takes it another step further.
And she takes Derek's photo off.
Her friend.
Her best friend.
Over Tom Sandoval.
That was hilarious. Tom Sandoval literally has never been more shocked. He was like number 1 target's going down.
He was like, oh, my picture's going down. It's that, and I'm sure every person gives a whole explanation or whatever, but obviously they're going to show us hers because her choosing Dolores is crazy, and not keeping Derek up there, crazy. But when she talks about it, I'm like, you are making no logical sense.
Yeah, because you just put a target on your back being like, I'm safe. So either you're a traitor or you have something to hide. Like, you know something no one else does. Because we haven't agreed that you're safe. So
Is she trying to take the Carolyn approach? Carolyn just naturally does this, where she's so erratic. People are like, oh, whatever. Like, is Danielle trying to be so erratic?
I think this made Derek suspicious, if anyone.
I think Derek was suspicious. She is the worst traitor in my mind.
I think Derek would have fought for Danielle till the end until this happened. Because, okay, a little suspicious you're picking Dolores. Super suspicious you're taking me down.
Yeah.
So you could save me?
That's
like,
the
you
thing.
think I'm safe?
That's the thing. It comes back to Boston Rob's speech, the first week or the second week or whatever it is, the Tony vote out. Either you're a traitor and I don't trust you, or you're a faithful and I don't trust you.
Yep. You know, you just showed us you know something that I don't know. So I don't like that you know that thing.
And you're going to not protect me in the things you know, in the actions you're doing. You are against me, whether you're a faithful or a traitor.
Let's make it worse, right? So so it goes on a little bit. Sierra puts her whatever. Danielle goes again.
Oh my God.
And she picks, who was it, Derek? She grabs Derek's photo.
And was like, I'm so sorry.
Yo, what? Pick your photo. You look twice. You look so guilty. Pick your photo.
That's the thing. You could have explained the first one away to be like, it didn't really matter who I selected. Everybody would have gotten shuffled around. It matters the last 2, yada, yada, yada. No. Like, why would you backtrack on that piece?
What are we doing? What are we doing? That was great. And then Derek's like, thanks. And then the last one to get it was my girl Sierra. She needed that safety because she's public enemy number 1. And I literally was like, dude, I know you want good faith with Dolores, but don't make an enemy out of Derek. Don't take Derek's photo down.
Yes,
Who's more powerful? Who's more powerful?
I know, but Sierra taking Derek down doesn't really mean anything. Like, showing loyalties to the people you should be loyal to. Derek's not going to be like, I think Derek would have been weirded out if he was chosen over the Bravo connection.
True. Very true. But you could have used that to be like, I trust you. Let me in. Let's do this together.
I have a question. I can't ever remember, because I think sometimes the series are different. Does the shield protect you from the round table? No. Just murder.
Sierra just won't get murdered.
Yeah. Okay.
But you would still get voted out that round table.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get back to the house, or on our way back to the house, Danielle starts talking to Dylan and being like, hey, you know who's probably a traitor? Carolyn. She's drunk. There's no way
I don't
she's
get it.
Sober.
I understand.
How is she the greatest player that's never won?
This show is tainting
she's the worst player that's never won. Yeah, she's terrible.
I think as a traitor, you will always be selfish and you should be willing to vote your traitors out, but you shouldn't be pouring water into their boat trying to sink their ship.
If it comes up, similar to how Carolyn played Bob's thing, it comes up, and Danielle. It comes up. I just have to vote with the group.
Or, like, I understand why Rob shot at Bob the drag queen because he fired
Bob
first.
shot first, yeah.
But, like, and he didn't go so hard. He went way too hard at the round table, which we already covered. But, like, Carolyn and Rob are not coming for you, Danielle. You don't need to be so gung-ho about this.
It was so fun. And Dylan is like, I don't believe you. You didn't even pick a trustworthy person.
You could have gone Rob. Actually an obvious choice.
You could have gone to Derek and said, I think Carolyn might be a traitor. I don't know what basis you have, but at least you know you and Derek are friends.
That's the problem.
Who's Dylan to you? Are you just going because he knew about Bob? And like,
I think that's where the traitors falter when they shoot at each other, is they don't have
there's
a
no
faithful
evidence.
reason of why they would be a traitor. They're just going off of the fact that they already know they're a traitor. But you need a reason, a reasonable suspicion, so then you don't get tagged with like, there's only one way that a traitor or a faithful knows that somebody's a traitor.
It would also be so dumb, though, for either traitor to really start planting the seeds. I think if they hear what Wes said, they could kind of be like, oh, that makes sense, and then blame it and be like, you know what Wes said? But for you then to be like, you know who's a traitor? Either Rob or Carolyn. It's too soon because everyone's already suspicious of Rob. Yes. So then if we go for Rob and he's also a traitor, everyone's going to be like, well, a traitor knows a traitor. Now we got Danielle.
And why do you want all these traitors out at the beginning? Like, you got to lead them and slowly feed them.
Because more are coming in. You don't want to take out traitors till the end when no one else is coming in.
Yes, you want
the money
it out. Like, get another faithful out. Because you need to have either a voting power, or you need to have so many traitors that you've gotten out that everybody believes, and everybody believes you are a faithful diehard. You've got to have one of those two things. Either enough traitors to go to the end, or reasonable suspicion that you are, like, reasonable belief that you are
faithful.
Yeah.
But for that, you have to play the game kind of right. Sometimes you got to shoot and miss on purpose then, too. Because if you know too many traitors, that looks fucking suspicious, too. You're just really good at this game.
I think Danielle is way too focused on what's happening in the turret and that she doesn't like those people. And that is not the game we're playing.
So I kind of forget what happens next. I took some notes. Like, Ivor's just throwing names out there.
Nobody was, like, really had a good vote on, like, what's gonna happen. Nobody had a good read. The only thing that was happening is people were still left over suspicious of
Nikki
Sierra
and
Nikki.
Sierra.
Yeah.
So we go to the round table. Nikki versus Sierra versus Nikki versus Sierra, basically. No one's looking at anyone else, which I thought was, I mean, Wes shouldn't bring up Boston Rob because Boston Rob even confronted Wes, and Wes was like, I didn't say that.
He said, I never said your name, which is true.
I never said your name. Yeah. I love Wes. Plus Wes is like, I'll lie and cheat to get to the end. I don't care. But basically everyone's like, Nikki Sierra. I don't even think many other people got like brought up, at least not seriously.
No, and the only reason it goes towards Nikki is because was it
Chrishell? Chrishell, what a fucking bad friend. I've never liked Chrishell, and I stand by that 10 toes down.
Shocked because listen, I totally think that you should be looking at your like pals and your alliance members because you should not have no blind spots. Like you should try to suss out everybody, but
not yet.
Whoa, no! But you're gonna bank throwing your friend under the bus off of one look in a car ride?
That was crazy. The fact that Chrishell, first of all, Gabby even says in an interview, do I think it's Nikki? Like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know realistically. But she said, like, even if it is, it's too soon and I'm biased, so I'm keeping her. Because you know Nikki's probably loyal to you. Even as a traitor, she's your friend. So she's
want to be in alliance with a traitor.
She's going to fight to keep you around. Nice. Right? So then, even if Nikki's a traitor, fucking keep her. Gabby's thinking about it. I mean, I don't think Gabby thought about it that way.
Mounting evidence, you don't vote for your person.
Yeah, and do I think Gabby was thinking about it that way? No, I'm not going to give her that much credit, but I think she's on the right path. Chrishell was in a car with Nikki for 30 minutes, and someone told Boston Rob goes, Nikki, Bob the drag queen said, I don't know, you were maybe a traitor. Yeah. And Nikki goes, what?
Which
Chrishell goes suspicious.
Whoa. When they replayed it too, I was like,
it wasn't suspicious at all. That's like, how I would react.
That looks like a normal reaction.
I'd be like, he said my name?
Especially for
what did you want me to go? Okay.
What? Yeah, what reaction says she's a faithful?
So then Chrishell's sitting at this table and everyone's arguing and she goes,
this was so fucking dramatic.
Can I just say, Nikki, this is so hard. I'm like crying.
And Nikki's like, what? What are you okay?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Nikki, I think it's you because there was a look on your face in the car today. And you could tell Nikki was just like, are you fucking
Nikki's like, what are you talking about?
Chrishell is sobbing and everyone's like, all right, can we just vote?
It's not like she had a slip up about murdering somebody or about being safe or something that like truly would tip you off that is worth turning against your friend.
We're like not even banishing good people at this. Because the traitors should realistically kind of have like enough in to make it go the way they want to go, you know what I mean? So they could maybe like, if they start planting seeds correctly, they could be like, yo, we got to get like these important people out so we can kill like
yes.
What is Nikki doing?
It is wild because both teams, Traitors and Faithfuls, are playing to lose.
Both of them. Like I'm rooting for Carolyn at this point. I hope she takes all the money. That's the only player I kind of support at this point.
Nobody is doing anything worthwhile.
Bob from The Biggest Loser. I'm kind of in on Bob a little bit too.
Dylan. I think Dylan is doing and Wes are doing okay.
I love Wes.
But because they are only as strong as their weakest link, their boat is sinking. Both boats are sinking at this rate. Nobody's gonna win.
I think Wes is kind of playing a long game, though, because he's already kind of on heat with Boston Rob, and then he's already voted for Sierra once, and in the challenge, it's very, very normal to vote for the same name, so you don't get more blood on your hands. So I think that was his play.
And I think he's trying not to be outspoken to then get, like, the all turned on him.
Yeah, you don't want to point. You want to get on the train. You don't want to drive the train.
That's true. Well, especially in the early weeks, they always fumble the bag and they freak out, and then somebody comes and like that's when like Dylan, everybody's comparing to Pilot Pete from The Bachelor, but Pilot Pete didn't come on strong until midway through. So I think Wes is actually going to be our Pilot Pete, where he's like gets his like people together who he truly believes are faithfuls and tries to figure out the puzzle.
I think the other thing with Dylan is, though I think he's really smart and I like his gameplay, people are going to be suspicious of him, particularly the traitors, because he already kind of read Bob the drag queen, so they're going to try and get him out. Whereas if Wes is voting Sierra's name, they're like, whatever, this dummy doesn't have a look on the game.
Dylan is worthy of murdering. These housewives are not.
So we get out Nikki, who's obviously a faithful, to which Chrishell sobs. And then Dumb Tom Sandoval comes over and says, hey, Chrishell, I know you don't like me, but I respect that you spoke the fuck up.
You were wrong.
Okay.
If Nikki was a traitor, that's the comment. That's a good comment. But she was wrong.
Hey, Chrishell, I know you don't like me and you got that totally wrong and we wasted a vote.
Great job.
I know your fucking friends hate you, but I respect you for saying what's on your mind.
Good job.
Even though it was totally wrong and had no basis. God. Anyway, but then we get my favorite part where Wes and Derek come together, two of my favorite players.
Here we go.
And they're like, hey, are we a little suspicious of Rob? Just like a little bit. Not enough to do anything, but just enough to like look at him.
I think they know that they need other people saying it so they don't.
Well, here's the other thing. If I'm Derek and Wes, right? They've played these types of games before. 3 late people come in, right? Even if I'm just one. Let's say I'm Wes. I'm coming in. I know I'm a faithful. But I know one of these 2 new guys has got to be a traitor. And then I see Boston Rob take out Bob the drag queen.
Outed himself.
Flawlessly.
Yeah.
So I know I can trust Derek. So we go over there and we're like, hey, you can think the same thing I'm thinking because we're both on the same team.
Yep. And that's the thing. This is kind of a game of odds and how much you can trust people. So the more people do, they're like slowly losing trust. And like some people's are like connected. So because Rob is losing trust, Derek's is going up.
I also think like already these 3 came in with an advantage because they're smarter than they've played these types of games before. But I would fight to say Derek and Wes got 2 of the best advantages in the game because they know their faithfuls and they know 1 out of 3 has to be a traitor.
So then it's just they just need to know, pick out the one other in that group of 3.
And they automatically have an alliance of like, we are both faithfuls.
Yeah.
Like we could ride this to the end. No one else can you ride to the end with. Because it's like, yeah, okay, Chriselle and Gabby like might both be faithfuls,
but the odds are not there. It's not the same.
The odds aren't there. This is an odd. We have pretty much proof that one of us needs to be a traitor, and we know this dude took out a traitor. So we should just rely on each other.
That's a good point. Because even if, let's say they do this in the future where they put 3 more people in and one of them isn't a traitor, okay, go after one of them. Suss it out. If they're not a traitor, it's like, the odds that this person is a traitor, it's 50-50. Or like, it's not always the same thing, but it's still something to take note of. And in your calculation of constant risk and what you're doing, they look at this game exactly how, and having that data is so important, like you said.
Yeah. That was great. And then Chriselle is sobbing and she's, Gabby, I thought you were gonna hate me. And Gabby's like, I don't hate you. And then Sierra's like, next week I know it's gonna be me. And then Bob from The Biggest Loser is like, this is so sad. And I was like, I swear to God, you guys wouldn't last a fucking day. A day on any other show.
I'm gonna be so for real. If they go after Sierra just because Nikki wasn't, I'm like, you guys are useless. You guys are useless.
Yeah. So here's my other thing, though. Rob, I think, knows
he's screwed.
He's on some heat. And I think he knows Derek and Wes are the ones that are going to sniff him out. But he can only kill one. So the other one has to then, if it's like Wes is killed, Derek's got to come full force. It's Rob. It's Rob. We got to get him.
Okay, who do you think that they should kill?
For Boston Rob, he should kill either Wes or Derek. I think he should go for Wes.
Which one of those two? You think Wes? I think
he should go Wes.
I think it's a little too obvious if they kill Wes that it is Rob.
Oh, that's a good point. I think, though, Rob isn't seeing the big picture at this point.
Yeah.
And Wes supposedly said his name, so like, but I think Carolyn and Danielle need to block that. We need to stop letting these men walk over us. They both need to not do what Rob wants to do because it's benefiting Rob. If they hate Rob, we got to take out whoever Rob wants.
They shouldn't do anything to make it look like Rob by any means, but they should just let like nature take its course. People are already suspicious of Rob. Take other people out to cause more chaos because Rob's time will come. He is on borrowed time.
If they're also smart, though, if I'm Carolyn or Danielle and Boston Rob's like, you know who we should get out? Wes, because he's suspicious of me. Okay, we're not going to get out Wes, but we're going to go to Wes and be like, yo, you know who's suspicious is Boston Rob. And Wes is going to be like, I also think that, and so does Derek. And then you got 4 strong ass, Danielle's questioning it, but the background on those 4 characters could do some damage.
No, Danielle is playing such a bad game that she cannot be the one to talk about a traitor first.
But then it gets even better because Dylan, who's friends with Carolyn, is like, hey, guess who said your name, Danielle?
Those traitors are going to be up in the turret like this, like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Like, they're too focused on getting each other out in none of these faithfuls. They're all playing to lose.
So what are they going to do at this thing? Like, if I'm Carolyn, I'm not going to say anything to Danielle. I'm not going to call her out.
Absolutely call her out.
Do what either one of them wants to do.
Well, have they ever not been able to come to a consensus of who to do?
No, they just let Boston Rob do it.
No, I know, but just in other seasons or other series, like the UK or Australia version.
Usually they're not at each other's throats with this. So what the fuck? Anyway, I can't wait for Friday nights. I never make plans on Fridays anymore, so I could sit and I watch that after work. It's like my happy place.
I'm
so stressed for them. Yes. Yeah, they're playing the worst game. So if I had it my way, right?
Don't do this to me because this is what I want to happen and they're going to do none of this. You can tell me, but I'm just saying.
We have to talk about what we want because we're not going to get it.
That's what pisses me off.
I want Carolyn to maybe not say anything about her knowing Danielle's coming for her, right? Because we're safe another night. We got to kill someone. Well, whoever Boston Rob wants to kill, I'm going to say no to, and I'm going to look at Danielle and be like, we should pick someone Danielle might want dead.
Yeah.
We should do this person. So Danielle and I outvote Boston Rob. Then, if I'm Carolyn, and I'm putting myself as Carolyn because this is who I relate to the most out of the Traitors, which is weird. The next day, I'm going to go find Wes or whoever Boston Rob wants to kill. And I'm going to be like, how are you doing? Get some hints. Be like, it's crazy. I have like suspicions, but I don't really know. And Wes is going to be like, who are your suspicions? And you're going to say one name, two name, and Boston Rob somewhere in there. And
yeah, you got to be like, and the Boston Rob thing still hangs on me.
Yeah, it's weird that he knew Dylan was a traitor, right? That's
not
crazy.
Dylan, but Boston
or Bob the drag queen.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right? And then he switched up so fast from like Tony to Bob the drag queen when like Dylan at least has gone for the same person multiple times. So, you know, I'm not suspicious there. And then Wes is going to be like, you know what? I thought the same thing. And kind of Derek too. And we're just going to maybe, if Carolyn has any friends, maybe we discuss with like Dylan, like, you know, I'm not sure on Boston Rob or Danielle. Like if I'm Carolyn, either one could be gone tomorrow and that's fine. And then we're going to, at the round table, I'm not going to say anything, but all my little seeds have been planted and we'll just see what happens.
I think that's good offense. And what Carolyn needs to do on defense is if or when any of the traitors come for her, she needs to be like, all right, let's talk about this. I would like everybody to say what evidence that they think that they have on me. And then be like, because then we should talk about evidence about you. And then every person should share their evidence.
That's where people need to go, is like, when someone's like, I think it's you, Nikki. Nikki should be like, why do you think it's me? And then they're like, you were in the coffin. And she goes, okay, well, I think it's you because, and then she's got to come with something. Be like, that's just as suspicious as being in the coffin.
Yeah.
Like, Danielle said that she was in the room with Dylan. Isn't that kind of weird? And Sierra was there too. Isn't that kind of weird? That's more suspicious than being in the coffin.
Yep.
Or like,
because the evidence on Danielle is stacking up specifically. Like Rob is just sketchy because he like sniped and like it was good.
It was a good
Rob
hit.
Could probably like buffer some of that stuff. Danielle, I'm like, girl, you were heard in that like closet thing. You aren't going after a shield. You're constantly crying at breakfast. Like, are you okay?
Are you on drugs?
Like, are you good? Because like, that's not how you normally play these types of games. So that's what's weird. Carolyn is always this way.
You could also just be like, Danielle, I watched your season. I know this isn't how you operate when you're being fully faithful. Now what? And you could even look at Boston Rob and be like, I know he's sketchy. He's always fucking sketchy. This is always how he acts. We've seen it on multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Like, does no one watch these shows? Anyway.
That's the problem. All these people are all like half famous people. And so they're like, their egos are a little too big to like sit and watch all of these shows like we normies.
Not I. Put me in here. I would snipe them all out in a second. Agreed. You know, immediately, Boston Rob shows up. I'm shaking his hand, becoming besties with him.
Well, I'm like, I don't care who Boston Rob is. We're getting him out whether he's a faithful or a traitor. Let's come up with a list of people who should not be here no matter what.
The only good gameplay the Faithfuls have made was getting out Tony. I supported that fully. Nikki and Wells?
But they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done that if Boston Rob hadn't gone after her.
And I'm going to go, listen. Boston Rob's got a lot of pull. Either he's a traitor and we get him out and that's great, or we get him out and we actually get to start thinking for himself and not just pulling moves that prioritize Boston Rob.
Agreed.
Have you not seen this man play? He only didn't win his first season because the jury was so mad he played so well.
I know. And his now wife won on their second season.
His now wife won. So are we gonna... They played on All Stars.
Yes.
They played on All Stars.
He was a figurehead and like was on an island with Sandra and had a whole idol head. Like, do you know who this man is? Because he's so
good at this game. You're gonna tell me Derek, the only player to win and never, the perfect game, never really be put on the block?
It's because people are like, oh, he'll be helpful. Like, he's so good at this. And it's like, no, those 3 people in those cages are not people you should trust.
Yo, have we not seen Wes play? Like, what are we doing?
They haven't watched any of it.
Why are we killing Dorinda?
I don't know.
Bring me back. Anyway.
Okay.
Do you watch Bravo at all?
Before we talk Bravo.
Oh, yeah. What are you watching?
Can I?
XO Kitty?
No, not yet, but we can talk about that to end.
Go on.
I watched the Molly May documentary.
Oh, I plan on watching it, but it just seemed like kind of boring at first in the first 10 minutes. And I was like,
I don't put it high on your list because
ooh.
One, it is only 3 episodes. 3 more
I heard
coming
there's supposed
out
to be 6
in May. So like
okay.
Whatever.
In May?
Or like I don't know, just it's gonna be a little bit.
Absolutely get fucked.
I know. So this was not interesting at all. Okay. I mean, I feel for her. It was like interesting to see her life and her like half interesting, I would say, to see her starting her clothing line and it to kind of fall apart. Like, but that is just like stuff for her vlogs, in my opinion. Like, you could have just vlogged this stuff. I think she is setting the groundwork to get back with Tommy.
That's what someone else said. I've heard that.
I find it so weird because basically they don't talk about his like partying. They only talk about, or like they don't even mention cheatings or the cheating rumors. They only talk about him being like an alcoholic and making bad decisions. And I'm like, why are we talking about this so vaguely? They do get in some fights on the phone, but they don't really give his side of it. And he is not on it. So it's kind of hard to like follow where their relationship really is because she won't talk about him.
Do you think it was a publicity stunt, like them breaking up for the documentary?
No, I don't. No, because the documentary was already happening. It was supposed to be about them and their relationship and her clothing line. I think she would have much rather, and people would have been interested in them planning their wedding.
Oh yeah, I would have watched that.
They already had that on lock. I
gotta say though,
fucked it all.
Like I said, saw maybe 10 minutes and my friend and I were high and went, this is bad vibes.
It is so boring.
But I did love the idea of her having to be filmed watching her and Tommy on Love Island. That was so funny.
Oh
also, her house is like so white and neutral, and then the Love Island TV screen was so bright, and I was like, I don't know what is happening.
That's the thing. I just think she leads a kind of boring life.
She does. I mean, she does. She even said from the beginning, she entered Love Island and went, I'm not much of a partier. I'm not much of a drinker. I'm not. And she wasn't really particularly loved on the screen because she didn't really do much. Her storyline was very fun because her and Tommy were cute. Yeah. And like we believed in the love story. But Amber ended up winning that season because Amber was fighting with everyone and drunk and like it was fun to watch her.
I like I don't watch her vlogs. I think she is good at a static image. A lot of people follow her. I think she has some cute style. Like, it's fun to see her be a mom, but it is a static image. She's not talking. It's not about, like, pep and energy. And so it doesn't translate well to a show. The first episode was the best because they walked through her life and, you know, the Love Island stuff. And every once in a while you get bits about her life. Like they talked about her growing her YouTube channel. I found that actually very interesting, but that's 5 minutes. And she says she wants to be back with him. And I'm like, oh my good God.
Girlie, we lit the world on fire for you. You can't do that to us.
No. Especially for that man. Like, it's kind of like, to link it back to the start of this episode, if Rachel now in a month was like, I kind of want to back with him, I'm like, what? In what? I understand it's probably really painful.
I get that. And especially when you have a kid together, like you want that kid to grow up in a family unit, you know? But girl, we can't.
No.
You know? Do you think she's going to get the public opinion and then be like, everyone hates him, we're not going to do it?
Because I think what's going to come out in the spring here is like probably what's been filmed like in the winter time. And people said that they spent New Year's Eve together and like maybe kissed. I don't know.
Men.
I'm like,
and don't deserve say. I don't know.
He's doing nothing for you. I think he is so below her.
Agreed. He's out here fighting Jake Paul. Who are you?
Okay, that's just one pillar. Like, it doesn't seem like I think he's an all right dad, but it's not like he's out here being an incredible dad, showing up. Like, she calls him, she is so considerate of him, despite them breaking up. She FaceTimes him when their daughter's going down for a nap or to go to bed. Every time.
Here's my thing about Tommy. I don't know him well, but I watched a season.
Kind of know him. I don't know him well.
And he was so quick to ditch Molly for Maura, and then was like, and she felt disrespected in the way he did it. There was a whole fucking fight they had where she was like, I'm fine if you want to get to know other people, but the way you are doing it is shady. And he had refused to take any accountability until the guys were like, just apologize, my guy. And then he did. And then he's like looking around, you know, Casa Amor, but he doesn't cheat. He waits for Molly. It's very cute. And Molly gets shit on by the public in that tweet, you know, thing that they used to do, the challenge. He doesn't say anything to defend her. He's like, just ignore it. I'd be raging. If this is the person I love, you don't know them. These people don't mean anything. Fuck the public. No, he was like, don't worry about it. Everyone loved me though, you know? And like, that was shady.
That's what it is he...
And then the vlogs prove that too. He's out doing whatever. Even if he is just training and eating chicken, she's home alone with her daughter.
You are prioritizing your life and what you want over all this other stuff, whereas she can balance being a mother and launching a clothing line and having
and
vlogs
taking you into consideration.
Yes.
And supporting you. You can't do anything
unless
else.
In these next episodes we see him in it and they actually are pretty open and talk about things and what things he's changing, go get fucked.
Also, didn't they, like, the day they got engaged, get in a huge fucking fight because she didn't trust him?
Yes.
And she wanted to see his phone?
Yeah.
No, the minute I need to see your phone is the minute the trust is broken.
I don't care if it ruins my, like, surprise engagement.
That's the thing. It's like, should we even get engaged if, like, I don't even trust you to have your phone? You know what I mean?
This might be a hot take. I kind of think like super surprise proposals where somebody gets suspicious are weird. Why do I want to know that you can keep this massive secret from me?
I agree. If you really want to surprise me, do it when we're like cooking breakfast on a Wednesday. Like, I'll be totally
That's what it is. You can surprise someone without keeping secrets.
I think that's it. If you're suspicious, then I'm okay. Here's the other thing, right? My friends have been suspicious when like the guy is like acting weird or whatever.
They're suspicious that an engagement is coming.
But they never, well, even that they'd be like, is he sick? Like they never go to, is he cheating?
That.
It's always like, is he sick? What's he hiding? Is he like drunk? Like it's literally
it's like your behavior's
else.
A little off, but I don't think you're doing something weird.
Yeah, I think you're just a weirdo. Yeah. So, okay, well, if they get back together, I've already made my decision on this man. I can't backtrack now. It's bad for my image.
Oh my God, I will not watch those episodes if I see even a hint of them potentially being back together.
No. Anyway, maybe I won't watch it. I'll wait.
XOX Kitty. I cannot get into it.
That's okay.
I can't get into it.
How far did you make it?
I'm in episode 2, maybe 3.
Of the first season?
No, of the second.
It gets really good. No,
it does?
you have to push. You have to push. I watched it when I was working one day, so I wasn't fully in it, but I had to stop working to be like, wait.
Okay, that's my problem is my attention span isn't there, but I really liked the first season. So I'm like,
do other stuff while you're watching it.
That's approved. I'm just worried I'm going to miss something. So I just keep waiting till I can have my full attention on it, and I'm just not interested in sitting down.
This can be one of those shows that you like maybe, I don't know, look through pictures, like clean your desktop, work a little, like you can have it, but like there will be certain scenes that you're like, oh, okay, wait, what's happening when you're where you are?
I am at the point where they're on that, like, I don't want to call it a ski trip because I don't think they've left.
Okay,
but they're like snowed in, and the note got passed around, and everybody knows that.
Did you finish that episode?
I don't think so. If I did, this is how much I'm.
Did you get to the hot tub scene?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Me, a 30-year-old giggling. No, you would know the hot tub scene.
Okay, because they were all in a hot tub.
You would know the hot tub scene.
Okay, I was going to say, because that's why they all came inside is... And then somebody screamed because that one guy. Okay, all right.
Fuck that girl. That girl, I'm suspicious from day one. I was like, who's this person from Pleasant, Ohio? What a weirdo. Anyone from Ohio.
That's the thing is suspicious. Like, I just don't connect with like where the storyline kicked off from because like, I'm not in it. I'm not interested at this
You'll
point.
get in it.
Okay.
You'll get in it.
Okay.
Did you know that the girl who plays Yuri is siblings with the guy who plays Minho?
No.
They're real life siblings, so they'll never kiss. Maybe she's also gay, but in the show. But...
I wonder if that's why they made her gay. just to like reduce that factor. I mean, it was probably already in, that storyline was probably already in it. But if they're like, hey, this is a safe bet to like put siblings.
Yeah, they're full siblings. But people were like,
siblings wouldn't make it better.
No. But like, people were suspicious because he has a British accent and she doesn't. But they both were born in Korea, but she studied in the US and he studied in the UK.
Okay.
So they just developed different accents. Because at first I was like, wait, what the fuck? And Yuri is like 32 and Minho is like 22.
I need to get on the Korean skincare. Like, I need to get on it.
Yuri looks so good.
Damn.
Anyway, you'll kind of fall for it. You have a lot still coming. It is kind of cringy sometimes. But I gotta say, Anna Cartwright was not my favorite part of this, even though I found her hilarious in the Boys I Love Before movies.
Well, I really liked her season 1. I'm just not liking her season 2.
Minho was my shining star. I find him absolutely hilarious. I also do love Yuri. I have like a soft spot for her and her like coming out storyline. But yeah, Minho is like my number one. Actually, Day's new girlfriend from the ski trip, she is hilarious. She's a good time. But it does get better. It gets crazy, but it's so funny.
I think it was much more fast-paced because they were constantly like going out and doing all these random things in season 1, and now it's like
now they
very
like know
slow.
each other. Yeah. You have track meets and God, what else fucking happens in this fucking show? I don't even know. And an art show.
Okay.
And I mean, you saw the tapes because then Yuri and Kitty kissed. And then her brother walked. She was literally like, and then my brother walked in and I was kissing Kitty. And I was cracking up. Because they do interviews together. They're like a cute sibling little duo. But keep watching. It does get like way...
Picks up.
Woo! There's a whole competition. Oh, man.
Okay. All right.
You got a singing competition, a K-pop comp.
Oh, I forgot about that because that Minho's dad is...
The K-pop comp comes through and it's worth it.
Okay. I'm excited. All right.
I'll watch it. It's so stupid. I would never in my life be like, everyone watch this show. But if you're looking for a 30-minute fun little Korean...
That's what it is. I need...
Korean-American show...
I like it because it's a little different. It's upbeat. Yeah. It's the
Peter Kavinsky shows up, and
that's
so does Margot.
Excited for.
Oh my God, you get the car scene. You're gonna love the hot tub scene, the car scene, the K-pop comp.
You sold me.
You got it coming.
I'll finish it this weekend.
Can we talk Bravo real quick?
Yes.
I know we're pushing time, but we got stuff to talk about. Okay, I'm all caught up. Do you want to go south first? Going south?
Yes, but the only thing I'm not caught up on is Beverly Hills, so I can't go there.
That's fine. Let's just go south really quick. Okay, let's go hospitality first. Emmy is psychologically not okay.
Okay, she, not just in that show, in present day, because she is in the comments and on interviews defending and like giving timelines about her and Will's like 2026 wedding. It's so fucking weird.
Oh, we want to talk about men not loving or liking you. This is...
Like, wake up, girly.
This is so clear. You could see this from space. Everyone could see this from space.
And, like, to be honest, if you'll accept this, then fine. Just stop defending it, at least. Like, don't put us through more.
So basically the whole episode is everyone's like, yo, Emmy, Will's talking shit about you, and we're a little concerned, right? First, Michaels brings it to her, right? Separately. And it's like, hey, Will's kind of talking shit about you.
Let's remember, the guys brought it to Will's, like...
The guys brought it to Will.
Like, a few days ago.
Will confirmed that he did talk shit, but it's not a big deal. So then Michael's like, hey, Will's talking shit about you. And Emmy was very like, it doesn't really matter. And Michael's was like, okay. So then they're at the table, and everyone knows that he has talked shit. So it's brought up at the table, particularly by Lake, who's like, I heard that he fucking hates you, basically.
Well, TJ wrote a timeline saying that, like, there were 2 incidents and that, like, everybody found out about the other incident before this dinner. So they're like, whoa, this is way worse than we thought it was, babe.
And Emmy doesn't deny that he talked shit, which in itself is a problem. Don't talk shit about me out in the open. Do it behind my back like a normal boyfriend.
But it's her, like, acting like it wasn't a big deal. She's like, I already know about this. Why would you bring this up?
So then she absolutely loses it because Michael said, can you calm down? And she like chucks her chair, her purse gets caught on it, and she's like, she walks away, and My favorite is, oh my God, who's Maddie gets up a little and is like, I think I'm going to go after her. And Emmy goes, no one come after me.
Well,
and
she goes, you should have talked to me one-on-one, but not now. I don't want to talk to any of you.
Well, Michaels did talk to you one-on-one, and you did the deflection thing where you're like, it's a big deal.
You can always tell who editors like, but also sometimes where the truth is based on what editors want, like they want to show you. Like Emmy, they roasted you. You.
Even worse, she calls Will sobbing. We don't see it at first. She's in the bathroom. She's in the bathroom and she's like, I want to go home. She does the squeaky cry and Will's like, I can't come get you, but I'll send my brother. Because he's studying to be a lawyer.
She did explain, and I don't understand why people got on him for like not wanting to drive 3 hours. That is so far. Apparently,
is his brother closer?
His brother lives in the area that they were.
Oh,
so like,
that's
his
fine.
brother drove her an hour, and Will drove 2. Like,
well, I was wondering because it took a long time. I felt like to get to the lake house.
Yeah.
So I was like, God, she's going to be here for the next.
I was actually more mad she called him saying, come get me. I'm like, you're
that
delusional.
pissed me off. I was like, call an Uber. Get out of here.
Stay. It is not that big of a deal. Like, if you don't want to stay at the house, production, I'm sure we'll get you a hotel.
Well, she's made it a big deal.
That's
when
the
she
problem.
comes out, and she has her mascara tears running down. But they're
so
big ass thick mascara tears.
I'm sorry. How does that happen these days?
I literally was like, take me back.
I don't understand. The 2000s. I mean, I cry a lot, and I have never had that much mascara on my face.
No, that was the amount of mascara on her face was crazy, especially for a blonde woman who shouldn't be wearing that dark of mascara. That much of that dark of mascara at a dinner in your backyard.
We're at a lake house.
That was crazy. And you're wearing a white dress, and all I thought was if it just
there was so much wrong. There's way too many things wrong.
She's on FaceTime with Will. She's crying. And she does the thing where, like, everyone says they have concerns in our relationships, but I'm happy. And she's just sobbing. And I was like, she looks the happiest she's ever been.
That's what it is like.
You're not. You lose it constantly. You cannot tell me you're happy.
And you shouldn't be telling me you're happy. Like, how you are should just tell me. Like, your actions, crazy. How you guys interact, your relationship should speak it for me.
That was crazy. And then she has the ball, because then she doesn't talk to anyone for like days. And then she's just talking to Will, and they're like getting along because they're all each other has. But then she makes a comment about how dare TJ come for a relationship when he's 33 and alone. And I went, don't you dare.
Okay.
Don't you dare. Because some people would rather be alone than be in the kind of relationship that you fucking have.
True. But she acts like, how dare somebody do this to her relationship? You guys all roasted Maddie's relationship last season.
The fact that Maddie went after her, I was like, it couldn't be me.
I think Maddie can easily put herself out of the situation and just comfort someone who needs comfort. And that is a really nice quality of hers. Yep, I don't have it.
Really quick, Joe Bradley and TJ are friends again.
Oh my God. That makes
I love the will they won't they of this.
I don't like their storyline because I'm like, okay, and so this was nothing? Like, you guys are so annoying.
I like that TJ said he shouldn't have said the Luann comment.
I agree.
But I like that also Joe Bradley was like, I shouldn't have rage texted you.
Very true.
The shit that Joe Bradley said, I was like, the fuck was... Just block him.
Maybe that's why I don't like it, because it is very mature, and that's how two people should, meet up, and they should both apologize, and they should move on.
The best was, obviously, TJ blocked Joe Bradley because of all the terrible messages Joe kept sending him.
Yeah.
And then Joe Bradley was like, hey, Maddie, can you text TJ?
Hey, can I dictate a message to you to send to him?
And I love the whole thing of like Joe would have reached out himself, but he's blocked. It was so good. These kids are so good, except I like the background of stuff we're not talking about, like Lake and Bradley, but it's not important enough to touch on.
You know what? Can I just say one comment? We don't have to get into it. Where the fuck is G Lily? Give me Grace Lily back. Yeah.
Wavy, baby.
I know. That is what I'm missing. Like, they're giving me the drama, but I need the kitschiness. That is Grace Lily.
Where is she?
I miss her and Maddie. Well, I don't know. She doesn't really have a job. Like, we saw her this season, obviously. Like, she was rapping for Maddie.
Yeah, wavy baby.
I think this trip, I think they make their trips like you have to be working at the restaurant, which I understand, but
it's fair.
You have to flash me back.
We want the drama back at work. We want it.
Yes, but you need to then flash me back to Charleston into what G. Lily is doing on her own.
We only need like 10 seconds to hear her do one little line. And
we always had that with like James Kennedy. Like they would all, like the whole group would go on a trip.
They left him out.
James would be at home.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Let's go to Southern Charm really quick. I don't remember a lot of what happened. I just love that the boys went fishing without Austin, and he was so mad.
I mean, the meat and potatoes of it is Molly has her recital thing, and then the after party, the after party at JT's, and JT sits with Taylor in the kitchen and is like,
"Hey, she's standing by the counter, and he's sitting on top of it."
What?
Someone put it in the Louvre.
Before we get into this, JT will never not be the little brother mentality, just wants to be on the inside. The harder he tries, the more he's not in this group, in my opinion.
I know, but weirdly enough, I'm like I still feel bad that Craig told Miss Patricia a lie. So part of me is like weirdly rooting for JT.
No, like he moves in such a weird way that it makes me not even remember that he got mistakenly said.
I'm still there. No. I don't root for him, but I just need him to be vindicated this one time.
Okay, like, at the reunion, we'll get to it.
I know, I just need it, but...
And then get off my screen, because he moves in such a shady way where he, like, has this weird need to, like, protect Taylor. So he's like, hey, I just want to say that Gaston is... And let me just say, they all say Gaston, or like such weird ways.
Oh my God, call him Gaston and be done with it.
But he's like telling her weird or like things about Gaston that I guess she shouldn't be dating him. I didn't understand what JT's motivation was.
I don't know, but can we talk about how Taylor says Gaston and it's really weird? She's like, Gaston?
Leva, I think, says it. No, not Leva. Madison says it the weirdest way. Gaston.
It's all weird, baby. But yeah, Taylor is...
she melts down just like Emmy.
She is hilarious. She loses on JT, rightfully so. Then she comes out, and everyone's like, what's wrong? And she's like, no, everyone's always attacking Gaston, like JT, and then this one, and points at Sally. And I went, excuse me, I don't even like Sally, but don't you dare.
I was like, that was out of the blue. You guys just cleared the air last time.
And then Taylor also earlier in the season earlier in the episode did this whole like, Sally's telling everyone that, or Sally's being told she can't trust me. I thought we were over. I do one thing wrong to Olivia, and now the whole group is after me. And I'm like, yeah, bitch. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Taylor wants Sally to be treated the way Taylor was last season, when it's like apples and oranges, baby. And it's saying her valid opinion about a guy she dated.
Yeah, who she is dating. I think that's the thing that angers me is Taylor's like, keep my boyfriend's name out of your mouth. And it's like, okay, but this is also my story.
Okay.
And he's a part of it. And she's not saying like bad things. She's just like, I dated him but I was with him and he cheated on me when he was with it. Like, it was the timeline.
Also, I hate when any reality TV star does this. Is when Taylor is doing this. She's telling Sally what Sally's relationship was with Gaston. You weren't in it, Taylor. You were not in it. You don't get to be the one. You didn't love each
other.
Like, what?
Were you in bed with us?
I hate when they're like, I was like trying to think of who this reminded me of. And it happened on Orange County this last season with Shannon Bedore. Her ex was dating that Jesus Jugs, and Jesus Jugs would always be like, you guys didn't date 5 years, and it's like, you were not in the relationship. You have no clue what was going on.
Who are you? And why is Taylor so... If she just stopped defending Gaston, no one would care what Sally was saying.
A little bit, but it's Gaston needs to come on and like prove us different with your guys' interactions.
In Taylor's backyard, Taylor will serve this man until she's like, I love this God-fearing man. I'm obsessed with him. Gaston doesn't know her name. He doesn't like her. I don't think he likes her.
Dude, Taylor and Gaston's relationship and Emmy and Will, same playing field in my mind.
It's same vibe. We're kind of similar vibes. Whereas, like, I barely know Sally's man bun of a boyfriend, but I think he really likes her.
I don't know anything because nobody's telling me anything, and nobody's trying to like defend weird ass things. I don't know. Taylor's just doubling down on like and running away. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's all
my
weird.
favorite was Sally though, after Taylor said this one, and Sally sat there and went, what? And everyone was like, whoa, that was crazy. So she's nuts.
Taylor runs off and will not talk about it, which is, to me, makes me think you're guilty.
Why is she on the show? If she's not going to talk about it, why is she here?
Because she doesn't have a job, because she quit her job to go travel with Shep.
Bring back Olivia. Who cares?
Okay. But it continues, and JT then turns it on Sally.
That was crazy. I
was like, whoa.
I don't even know what he said. And then Craig's there, and then the bitch thing gets brought up again. And Whitney's just in the back drinking champagne. He doesn't give a shit. And Craig doesn't know which way's up. And Shep is confused because he attracted to Molly, who can play a tuba because it's hot when someone's an instrument.
Who cares about Gaston? He's so ugly. And I'm like, that's so true, but not the point.
No, you're right. I loved when Molly got to JT's house and Shep was first in his interview. He's like, it's really attractive that like Molly can hone in on a craft. And I was like, it's because Shep loves culture, even if it's the tuba. He loves someone who can do some culture. And then I kind of was into Shep going, like, Molly walks in, he's like, I want to get you a drink. What would you like? Champagne, wine? And he like immediately goes to find the champagne, but it's not cold.
Oh my God.
He chills it, and he's like, Molly, can I get you a beer?
No, he was rooting around in the fridge as like JT and Taylor are talking, and she will not talk if he's in the room with her.
But it doesn't matter because Shep's number one priority was to keep culture alive. I love it. And that's keeping Molly happy.
Yep, I love it.
I was obsessed with Shep doing that.
I agree.
For someone who doesn't like women, he loves culture, and if you're a woman with culture, he's in on you.
I think in like a society sense of just like interacting with women, I think he likes women. I don't think he really hates women. I just don't think he
doesn't like
ever
commitment.
Treats his person with respect. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. He was like, it's so attractive when someone actually has like an art that they can hone in on. And it's like, look at your friends. You got Craig who sews, but we all made fun of that. And we got Austin who makes beer, but we all make fun of that. And we got Taylor who does nothing, and we just don't care about her. It's so funny.
But that's how this show started, is I feel like we got this look into like this upper crust society, and we get that with Patricia, and like Shep still holds on to it, but none of these new
Patricia
people really
was
have
almost
it.
Too unattainable though, right? Like Shep was fun.
No, and I love Shep's, but nobody else brings that up. That when Shep does it, I'm like, and this is why I love you.
I was into it. Like it stuck out to me, and I was like, wait, I'm loving that Shep was like, even though she plays this big ass horn, I love that she can.
Like Shep often quotes like Shakespeare or different things, and
he's
I really
very
love
educated.
That. Yes,
I also wasn't he the one that stood up at the performance?
Yes,
to find Molly in the crowd,
and they were like, "Shep, sit down."
So for someone who's so polished in society, but that shows his like level of class too, because he can stand up and he's not going to get in trouble. He is culture, baby. He's with the trash.
Well, he has so much money, and he's not with the trash.
He's with the trash here. Fucking Craig from Delaware, please.
Who lied about being a lawyer?
Upper class, baby.
That's the like standing up and being kind of rude during a performance won't knock you down because
he wants to find the musician that he is here to see. I loved it. I'm here to
agree.
I think we need to make some big adjustments to Southern Charm.
Yes.
But Shep, weirdly enough, is not one of them for me. And neither was Molly.
No. I'm coming around on Sally. I don't mind her.
I'm kind of in it. The way she reacted when Taylor went, and this one was so funny, but so accurate.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't mad. She was so just confused.
She's like, I literally did nothing. But she's willing to like have a tough conversation, share some gossip. Like she's doing good. Get JT off my screen, because it ends with him and Vanita outside, and we start their little blossoming romance thing.
Ew.
And I'm like, gross.
Yeah, ew. I'd be fine if we got rid of Austin too. He doesn't really bring me anything. He's just
boring
a man.
now. He's boring now.
Honestly, kind of Craig too. Get him off. They're just here to serve Shep, and I appreciate that.
Listen, one of them needs to go, and to me, I'd rather keep Craig around because the lore is just so funny around Craig because he's just been here for so long, but Austin can go.
And I don't miss Thomas Ravenel specifically, but I like this other like high society guy. You know, that like Shep can hang out with, because Craig and Austin are more like
his drinking buddies.
Middle class, if you will. They don't have trust
I agree,
funds.
because like Cameron brought that, and Thomas Ravenel, and Catherine didn't bring it in a like personality sense, but she had the background and things she was
opposite of Cameron. Cameron didn't have it in like a background sense, but she brought the class. That's how she learned.
And Eliza Limehouse was even that way. Like we went on a freaking fake fox hunt, and I was eating that shit up.
Yeah, I missed, because now we have, no offense to the cast, people who weren't raised high, even if they're rich now, they weren't raised high society.
They weren't raised like Shep high society. They did their cotillions, but that's because they went to just like a private school.
So like, I love Madison, but I need like a little more like, I like that Patricia a little bit, she goes off of it, where she's like, not in my home kind of thing. But I'd even want like, I need someone who grew up in it. I need someone indoctrinated.
Madison is the new Cameron. Like, she knows how to present herself in society and be that. But we need more historical, long bloodlines who have these homes and these traditions. And I don't want it to be like racist traditions. We can cut that shit out. But like, let's show some like, it's just a different culture. And so like, I kind of want to see some of it.
I do too. Like, let's go back to polo matches and stuff. Well, I guess we did. But like, we didn't
more
see
polo.
They used to sit there. Remember, they would always go to those big houses and like go watch a polo match and then like drink with them after.
Yep.
Like, we just saw a polo match and then we all went home. Like, I need a little more high society.
That wasn't a polo match at the start of the season. It was horse races, but close. Horses.
Bring in Austin's sister. I think Austin's sister could do way better than Austin, because she would bring a young crowd. And Austin's parents have a really nice home, and his mom had dressed up in like really nice clothes.
I agree, but I think they are the bottom level of people,
of high society.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily of high society, but the lowest level that we can have on this show. Like, Sally's family, I think, is lower, and like, just because you have a lot of money now, it doesn't foot the bill.
Yeah, agreed. We don't even have to talk about Housewives, because that was so good. No. I love going down south. But I would love to plug some music.
Do it.
For everyone. Bad Bunny's new album came out. Ooh. It is a banger. Listen, I've had my ups and downs with Bad Bunny. I love his music so much. I love what he stands for. I love his Puerto Rican heritage. My only issue is that he dated Kendall Jenner. Like, because he's very outspoken against like gentrification and people taking like what is, you know, meant for the Latins or the Puerto Ricans, and like he's very big on culture, which I loved. And then to date like a white woman who embodies all the things he's supposedly against and has a tequila brand, it's just like yuck. But they've, I believe, since broken up.
Oh yeah, they are not together.
So I'm in on Bad Bunny again. His album is absolutely ridiculous. It is so good. It brings a lot of Latin flair, a lot of Puerto Rican flair into it, and I'm obsessed with him. Also, if you haven't seen it, he promoted it for Hot Ones, and he is the cutest little man. So he doesn't speak fluent English. He's still learning, because his music just became big in the United States. And he eats a hot wing, and you know, you get like your senses all fucked up. And he says to Sean Evans, the guy, he's like, in broken English, but I'm going to say it in fluent English because that's what I speak. He basically says like, you know, I'm still new at English. And so like a lot of the time I need to focus on what you're saying to respond, but I actually can't focus right now because the heat is like killing me. And Sean is like, do you want ice cream? And Bad Bunny looks at him for a second and goes, ice cream? Yeah, ice cream would be nice. And they bring ice cream and he eats it, and he in Spanish is like, damn, this is coconut, it's good. And no one like laughs or says anything, so he just smiles because no one knows Spanish. He just smiles at Sean Evans and goes, this is the best idea ever. It was so cute. Go watch his full, he's so cute, but that's what's going around viral right now, and he's just adorbs. So Bad Bunny is back.
Anyway, that's new music. That's all I got. Love it.
Okay. Right. Well,
thanks for joining. Bye.